Drew Yari Show. It is time for the Drew Yari Show. Drew Yari.
What is going on, guys? It is Wednesday, January the 13th, 2021. It is another episode of the Drew Yari Show. I am your host, Drew Yari, and with me, as always, is...
Is it always? Kev, they sent me down to the podcaster NXT. I don't know when I'm going back up, but I'm enjoying my time down here. Kev Castle.
I think they need to make sure you're not getting too long-winded out there. So
that's it. I don't want to be too long-winded. I think they wanted me to work on my promos. Some of my promos are great, but they're just too long-winded.
Man. Hey, you'll get there, Kev. You'll get where you need to be.
But my ring work is exceptional. Listen.
Yeah, it's up there with it's up there with some of the all-time greats.
It might be, and they said my voice only rivals that of Gordon Soley, so I appreciated that compliment.
Oh, okay. That's the highest compliment you can get.
That is.
But how's your day, man?
I've had finer moments, but I'm hanging in there. I still get lost on the days. Like today, I thought it was Thursday. Yesterday, I thought it was Monday. I'm completely lost with the days because it's very Groundhog Day-ish when you're not, doing your usual gigs. Working and to still work is still, non-existent for us club folk. But now. Our governor did an about face, which a lot of people predicted when Trump was on his way out, regardless of the insurrection or whatever. Cuomo is now like, we can't stay closed forever. We got to he did a complete 180. We're all kind of like scratching our heads. Actually, Lucky 13 did some goof thing on a post soon. And now it's like, we got to get the economy open. We can't wait for everybody to get vaccinated. We're going to have to figure this out and get the economy. And we're like, okay, every place has to be reopened. Fauci's now saying concert early fall, maybe the summer, depending. So again, people, listen, I don't want to get into all politics. And we got a week to go. Every day is still very similar. You can't plan and prepare. All you can kind of do is talk about getting back to work right now. It's in the talking stages. But planning, what can you plan? There's no return date.
Yeah, I get you. And I guess we can kind of jump into the big news story of the day. Non-wrestling related is Trump was impeached. And he is the first president to be impeached twice, which I guess you're a little bit more on the nose about politics than I would be. But, what does this kind of mean for the country?
I think it's not a good idea because he's on his way out anyway. I mean, again, he's going. I never thought he was going to stay. Take insurrection, which sounds like a pay-per-view, by the way, out of a thing last week. He was always going. He just wanted to be a dick on his way out. That's what it's always been. It's always been, I'm going to be a jerk off about it. Again, talk is talk. We all know people who talk a big game. It's, in entertainment, it's the thing. And you got to forget, he's in the entertainment business as much as he's ever been in the politics business. And here in New York, we know all about him for many, many years. Going back to the 70s, I remember the Trump's name and the Trump's thing on buildings of places I grew up in our area. In Sheepshead Bay, there was a Trump towers in Coney Island in the next neighborhood over that certain people lived in. So again, we know all about this guy. And that's, I thought it was all bravado and brash bullshit. And the rest of the country was like, watch what he's going to do. He's not going to do anything. And again, he didn't do anything. He had other people do it. And he didn't really have other people do it. It was a bunch of numbskulls who went on their own like a bunch of fucking rebels and really, caused an uproar. And for what? 5 dead people for no reason, for no cause, for nothing that was going to be accomplished anyway. Even if you had 1 million soldiers there, you wouldn't. Again, this was a really bad thought process of these people. And now a lot of these people who thought they were going there to fuck shit up, break some windows or whatever, now can't probably ever fly in an airplane again. Probably can't, go out of state tracked, family tracked, feds up their ass now, probably for the rest of their lives. Wasn't worth any of this. And there was a lot of people there too that were just there to support Trump. Didn't want any part of this. Again, we're not going to paint a broad brush. We got to, just like we couldn't blame Black Lives Matter on all the people who were burning buildings and assaulting store merchants out on the street. I want to make that clear because I didn't forget about seeing that either. I don't care. Listen, I don't think I am far more offended by seeing female store merchants kicked and stomped on the floor outside of their store, protecting their store, swinging a broom to try and keep people from burning their business down. That I'm about people, going in the Fed, shoot them if they're going to federal bank. I could care less. I care far more about innocent civilians on the street getting attacked by anybody of any side, in any capacity, because they're defenseless people. And they're just trying to fucking earn a living. They're just trying to fucking live their lives. Most people don't want trouble. Most people don't want trouble. I'd say 99% of people don't want trouble. Every day they get up, they don't want drama, they don't want anything. But you get sucked in, and then you get a hopeless feeling, and you can get people to get in your head and make you think like, yeah, I guess I gotta fight for this, right? Like, I'm never gonna get it back unless I really put it all on the line. And that's kind of sad that some people thought that way in that Capitol. And watching some of the new footage that came out, Trump definitely don't want to get off the whole point. Trump definitely stoked the flames. He didn't help. He didn't help deter it. That's definitely the problem. Did he literally say, go in there? And no, of course not. They can't even find, even some of the people on CNN admitted he didn't actually say that. But you got to read between the lines and sometimes cryptic shit. We talk about cryptic things and cryptic tweets and cryptic sayings and people talking cryptically.
Right.
What we're learning about that is that could come back to haunt you and hurt you in a lot of capacities. If you're really a person who is can whip up a frenzy, a group of people. That was just a bunch of ice that broke by me. And if you have that kind of responsibility, you see now that it can come back to haunt you. So things not said sometimes are just as important as things fully said. So his crypticness. We talk about that word all the time. We talk about it on all other shows. People use that word all the time now, and I never used to even hear it until a couple of years ago. And people saying, can you hold someone responsible for doing something in a cryptic, like kind of not naming names, it's the kind of tweet? It seems like they can, because that's what they're certainly doing to Trump. Because, again, you have to show me where he says, go in there and burn it down. Go in there and get Pelosi, knock her off her pedestal, take her furniture, tear the shit up. He never said that, but cryptically, he stoked the flames by saying, sometimes you gotta use more than your voice. You have to be there in the front lines. You have to show strength in numbers. And, again, people are dissecting it and going, no, see, he's egging them on. But a lawyer could tear it up and say, that's not what he meant. And, by the way, Trump is, of course, entitled to the best kind of legal team that he's going to put together. I don't think, Giuliani's probably not the guy to go. He's probably, Dershowitz is a pretty good attorney. But again, then a lawyer's going to tear that up and say, he never said that. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a proving point to really give him incarceration time. Again, the funny thing, Drew, about this is it's not like Trump gets put on probation, you know what I mean, for being impeached. It's not like he was, caught shoplifting and he can do community service or whatever. He's either going to go to jail or he's not going to go to jail. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what it is. It's one of two things. It's not like, Mr. Trump, you have to wear an ankle bracelet for the next year in home arrest. That's not gonna happen. I hope everybody out there, and some of you guys are younger cats who maybe listen to the show who aren't all in tune with this, saying, yeah, what exactly happens, Kev? It's incarceration or no incarceration. There is no, again, he's 6 months you got to serve soup in the soup kitchen in Dallas. No, that's for people like us. That happens for the civilians. For him, jail or no jail. That's why he should be maybe a little nervous at his age and stage. Would he go to like a country club federal prison? Of course he would. He wouldn't serve hard time. He's not going to be. You guys, no one's stupid enough to think Trump's going to be out in the yard and someone's going to give him a shiv and prove yourself, Trump. That's that. He's going to be. He's going to be.
You're just gonna see you're gonna see Trump walk out of prison with like swastikas.
He will be in a very relaxed, probably tennis court there. Did you ever see Wolf of Wall Street?
That would never happen.
Yes.
Wolf of Wall Street. That's a good example of where Trump will be. Tennis, maybe some golf. Now, his whole thing is the shame of it, the colossal embarrassment of him being a president, impeached and incarcerated. I think that's the whole thing that's on the line is the shame of it for Trump. Now you could say, well, the man has no shame, ego, but him not wanting to be looked like that in history, that's the part. Do I think he's actually getting prison time personally? I don't think so because there's no real point to it. Yeah, 5 people died, but again, Dershowitz and some other, I'm sure again he's going to have a big legal team put together, a pretty big brain trust. He's got the money, and there are people on his side. Who are pretty big in the legal aspect, and they don't necessarily have to be on the right. Alan Dershowitz is not a right wing guy. He's just a friend of Trump's who's kind of never really abandoned him to certain degrees. And I think they're going to argue that what about the Congress who encouraged Black Lives Matter? So they encourage people to take down monuments, raid churches. Federal buildings were invaded actually during the summer protests and stuff. People were going into federal property. Not as bad as this. And 30 people, I believe, died altogether from the summer protests across the states. And they can argue that and say, how come Pelosi, Schumer, look, here's some quotes. It's going to be a battle. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a battle. They're going to really, really have to dig. I mean, fucking dig and get something on Trump better than him just saying, this. I think the quote I saw today, and they captioned it, is Trump said in a tweet, and you guys can maybe look it up, or even you, Drew, but I saw it today on the news. It's going to be wild. That was a quote that he said about what's going to take place what went down last week. It's going to be wild. He could mean the after party. He could mean at the strip club. Right. It's going to be wild. What does that mean? Now people are saying, what president talks like that? It's going to be wild. Slippery slope, man. Again, I don't want to go on and on about this, but because long-winded turns people off. But I want to, even though it's made a career for me for 17 years. But I don't think he's going to do time. I think there's not enough evidence to prove intent of bad things like that happening. Again, his lawyers are going to eat it up, and they're going to attack Pelosi and other people who said. Inflammatory things when the summer riots hit and encourage people to get out there. Matter of fact, Chris Cuomo said on his show, who said riots are supposed to be peaceful? Do you remember that quote? It's out there. And he's a major TV guy getting 5-10 million viewers. Doesn't he have a responsibility to say that? I mean, again, they're going to be pulling quotes from everybody. Say, how come this guy's not responsible? CNN fanned the flames when they told people, go out there and show people your anger in the street towards the police. What does that mean? Does that mean go hurt the police? That sounds like to me like that means don't respect the police anymore. You're gonna see craziness in this fucking trial if it goes to trial. But again, it's prison or no prison. He doesn't get community service.
Yeah, I think personally think the whole impeachment thing, like you said, it's kind of a waste of time because he's going to be out of office in 10 days?
Less, dude, less. 20.
Yeah, less than that. It's like just wait until he's actually gone. Why impeach him? It doesn't make any sense. And you're right. There could possibly be some ramifications, from the public, Trump supporters, and that's what I fear. That's what I fear out of all of this is that, we're going to get a sequel to what happened in the Capitol riot. I don't know if they're going to attack the Capitol, which what is it? The National Guard is already over there just in case. But
yeah.
This whole thing's a waste of time. It's like he's already gone. So why even fuck with him if he's already about to be gone? So
Did you see his speech? Did you see his speech today? The 5 minutes that he did today.
I didn't get a chance to see that because I know my girl and her sister are all over the news like as soon as I got home, so I didn't get a chance to see the speech.
He didn't. He basically condemned violence and told his supporters to not stand down. He didn't use those words. He said that we tolerate from the left, right, and he took again the cryptic digs. He did it just like everybody continues to do this cryptic dig shit. It's sweeping the nation. He said the same thing. He goes just like he condemns the right or the extreme right, whether his followers or not, for what they did, and just like he condemned the people who burnt down businesses and attacked store merchants and did unlawful things during the summer protests. So he got that in there to make sure, and that's why I'm telling you, his lawyers are going to go with that theme. That's to get that right across the millions and millions of people. That let's not put that to the side. That 30 people died in other forms of protests. Unnecessarily. All these deaths were unnecessary. All of them. From start to finish. But again, we don't live in la la land, man. Some people are gonna go down, and some people are going to, unfortunately, be victims of circumstance more than anything else. You've seen the footage by now, Drew, right? Of that girl who got shot, who was in the Air Force and was shot in the neck, who ended up dying in the Capitol. I'm sure you saw the footage. You didn't see it by now.
Well, I mean, I'm aware of it. I didn't actually see the footage. I didn't even know there was footage.
Yeah, there's footage of the whole thing, and it was pretty eerie last night. CNN revealed the whole footage, and the guy on the other end who has the gun drawn and sticking out near the window. And as they're breaking the window, the guy is telling them, "Stop, stop!" Then, and girl goes down, and then it's just like and you know what was weird? If anybody's in the chat who got to see the footage, did you notice it was all men and one woman? And the one woman out of the 50 people at that door or whatever off to the sides, the woman wound up taking the bullet in the neck. Isn't that something? I mean, if you could have threw a pebble, what are the chances you hit the one female that's in that group of all men, and the one woman died? And you could say, hey, she was there, and I know. I'm just saying that, the odds. Kyle's saying the same thing. Crazy odds on the chat. That she went down. She wasn't even really like there was other guys in front of her, and she took the bullet, and she was like shorter than everybody else, and I guess where he aimed, it went into her neck, and she went down, and you just saw, everybody scatter, and a couple of guys try to help her, and I think that's when shit got real. And again, people show, and I hate this because you can't be, it too, Drew. Would you want to be remembered on your worst day or something you said, or you were mad at somebody, so you posted something cryptic or revealing, not even cryptic, revealing on Twitter or social media about today, just fuck everybody, and I'm so fed up. Then something bad happens with you or to you, and they go back and they show that tweet and go, wow, this is what Drew Yari is all about. Fuck everybody. It's like, no, it's not. Drew the day before, he had a picture of a puppy on his fucking, his Twitter. Before that, he had a picture of a cat. That doesn't, encompass him into one thing because he had a bad tweet day. And I kind of hate that they did that with that girl. I mean, I don't know her, but I do know spending 14 years in the Air Force, you have to give her some respect, some props. Where did she lose her way and think that her country had turned their back on her? I don't know. Maybe she didn't get benefits. Maybe she got sick. Maybe she didn't get government assistance. There's always a story to a lot of things that go on when people kind of lose their way or get disenfranchised with anything. But people want to say, well, look what she posted the day before. We're going to go in there and we're going to use force if we have to. See, well, she got what she got. But I'm like, but that doesn't tell the whole story. And does that deserve murder or death? Again, I shake my head and I'm like, I think it's again, and we'll get into Chris Jericho, I'm sure, later with the COVID thing, which is a major story coming out today too. So it's actually a good day to do a podcast. A lot of stories broke out this week.
Right.
It shouldn't, that one thing shouldn't be the telltale sign of who you are or what you are as a person. It's just not right. And again, I wish more people thought like me. I'm not some genius. I'm just someone who's tries to at least be somewhat fair in his thinking about anybody, because evil and making mistakes and fucking up are all different things. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you're right, because what that girl did, I mean, and again, I don't know what her frame of mind was, but
Right. Yeah.
I'm almost positive it wasn't evil. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna say it was evil. If I don't want to like make it too extreme. If it was like the Ku Klux Klan, then that's evil.
Right. Right.
What this girl did was, and I
She's
don't want
she's
to like
this she's disenfranchised with the government.
right there you
Right.
go. That's the
Okay.
right word.
Yeah.
And I don't want to
And
like
there's a lot of people on both sides, by the way. Let's be clear, who are disenfranchised with the government. Both sides. That's why we have a lot of independents.
yeah, right. And I don't want to like speak ill of the dead, but yeah, you're right. A lot of people are disenfranchised. Not just with the government. I don't want to speak for you. I mean, you're disenfranchised with the person who's running your city. You
Sure,
know,
absolutely, yeah.
a lot of people are disenfranchised. With people who run their city. With the whole COVID, and they're disenfranchised because they don't have jobs, and that's 100% understandable. If it became a thing of like Kevin Castle, Kevin told me one day, "Hey Drew, I'm gonna rob and kill people. I'm gonna, I need to make ends meet some way somehow, so I'm just gonna rob and kill anyone I can." Like that.
Right.
That would be evil. You're disenfranchised because what I just mentioned with the person running your city, and because the
Right,
organization.
I'm broke. I'm frustrated. I didn't ask for this. I feel a victim of something. I feel forgotten. My industry feels forgotten. I have those feelings, but do I want to go out and really get Cuomo? Not really. Do I get a kick out of him getting clowned, or someone coming up, or a celebrity coming up with a good tweet that gives him a good zinger? Sure, I love it, because that's the little bit of little retaliation I could prop. But I'm not going to prop anything criminal or psychotic. A little dig here and there for, oh, that was a good one, joke, whether it's my brother or whether it's someone I'm in podcasting with, or some celebrity who used to live in New York and just thinks it's gone to the dogs, saying something funny, I'll retweet it. That's really the only power guys like me and civilians have right now, is to kind of vent that way, which people say, is it healthy, is it not? It's something, and at least lets you get out your frustrations, better than punching my walls and breaking my knuckles, or screaming and yelling. I'm a pretty calm guy in later years anyway than I am. You see me, I talk a lot, but I'm not overly animated when I talk, and like totally sound like I'm having a stroke over something. I try to be a cool customer, and think about things and be rational. I'm a hothead sometimes too, but me, acting like a lunatic is not going to get me back to work any sooner. It's not going to do anything for my industry. My brash bravado online might get a couple of yucks, and hey, Kev, that was funny. And maybe that'll make me feel good because I said something funny and I made people laugh. But does it move the needle? No, hasn't done anything. And why would I think moving the needle would be to go out and actually harm Cuomo? And what? So then I get incarcerated for the rest of my life, die behind bars, and nothing changed. Do you know what I'm saying, Drew? So that's where we have to think like normal people here. I said it last night. I don't know if you saw my quote. It just came off the top of my head. It wasn't anything I planned. When Kayla Braxton, we can talk about that too later, got quit Twitter, she couldn't take it anymore. And I said, because there's three kinds of people on fucking Twitter. There's the good, decent, or normal, finger quotes, people, right, who just go on there, hey, how's it going? Or, hey, Drew's show's on tonight. Oh, I'll try and check it out, man. Sounds cool. Normal reaction. Then you get the know-it-alls and assholes. First of all, let me tell you something. My sister works in a hospital, and you are all wrong about COVID. Or I know this about wrestling. I happen to be friends with Batista, and I know for a fact. So then you get those types, people who want to embarrass you and make like you don't know what you're talking about. And then you get the real scumbag, shitty people, mostly anonymous, mostly fake name, first, last, profile picture, not theirs, who just go on there to say, I want to just like be a miserable prick to somebody today. And then just, because I have such self-loathing. That's why I don't reveal even the city I live in. Everything's fake about me from soup to nuts. But I want to go on some real person's profile and make them feel really bad. Like say something really heinous, or really take a dig at something I know it's going to hurt them. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people like that. and we have to accept that. And it's not an act. I said the other day, if that's an act in real life, man, there's no way you could walk the streets acting unhinged like that. And I don't, and saying that you're putting on a show or an act, you're in character, you don't get forgiveness for that, in my opinion. Because to me, there's something that's fake, there's something real to it too. Do you know what I'm saying, Drew? Especially you show a little bit of a dark side of yourself. That's some real shit. That's not an act. I know an act. An act was Bela Lugosi when he put the fangs in and the Dracula cape on and played Dracula. I don't believe for a second Bela Lugosi would have a date and go for the bite on the neck at the end of the date because he was, Dracula. It was a fucking movie. It's not real. But I believe some dark people who act very dark and disgusting on Twitter in real life are just as shitty, but we don't know who they are. Do you know what I'm saying?
I guess we can segue into that with the whole Kayla Braxton thing. And I did see what you posted, by the way, because I actually have it right here. She said, while I was at work tonight, I called that someone very close to me died of COVID. And as I logged on this platform tonight, I noticed multiple discussing tweets tagging to make jokes about me when I had the virus early in this year. Fuck you. And what else did she put? She put something else. I mean, that's actually all she put. Here's an old quote from June. She put, was keeping it quiet, but since everyone else is sharing, I feel like it's my responsibility to share this PSA. You can get COVID-19 more than once. I had it back in early March and then thought I was invincible after I recovered. Not true. Don't be dumb like me, Braxton wrote in June of last year. And she had to get off social media because of just people ripping her for COVID, which again, talks about what you just said. They're just some really evil people, because, and that's, I never thought of it that way when you said, people who say that, oh, I'm just acting like this. Those are the people that are just, near the whole, are borderline sociopathic. Because how you can rip somebody for just things like that, it makes no sense. And I still don't get it. Like, she had COVID twice, and she openly admitted, hey, I thought you can just get it once. I was wrong. And, she said that she had a friend of hers that just, passed away from COVID. And there's just some really just evil people out there, Kev. And you hit the nail on the head. There's just some really evil people that will, go on social media because it's easier for them. Because you and Draper make like the joke of like these are people that have never gotten to a fight at high school or never gotten many dates. And the scary part is, Kev, is that you look on a lot of these people's profiles, it'll say things like, I'm a mother and I love Jesus and I have 2 kids, or father of 4 kids, and I'm a teacher. And just these people just have a really evil and dark side. And it's one thing when you see it, it just makes you go, how fucked up is this world?
Yeah. I mean, again, and that's how cynical we can all be, is that I'll even say that some of us see some of that stuff that's posted, right? Like, I'm a this, I'm a that, and you don't even know what to believe if any of that's even true. You know what I mean? Of what they are. It's maybe to throw you off the path, throw you off the track, that, to just fake it all up so that you don't have anything on them. Because again, they want to dish it out, but they don't want to get it back, or they don't want you to know anything about them. And being in podcasting, all of us, and I think anybody, and even anybody who's listening to the show, whether you're on the chat or whether you listen on the download, I think there's not one person who's not been on Twitter or is on Twitter and has not had a problem person enter their world out of the blue, whether it's somebody that you might have seen and you don't know them. No one ever really knows anybody. Of them. I've seen this guy on such and such's page before, or he might have listened to Wrestling Soup, or maybe you listened to JD, or maybe he's, I've seen him on a message board or something. You never know. Like, you see some of these characters, so to speak. And everyone has had some infiltrators come in, tried to be a fucking jerk off to them. And usually it's, fuck you, block, okay, goodbye. But then you have some like relentless pricks, and especially the celebrities, where people will open up new accounts and still bother them and stalk them. Look what happened to Sonia Deville, right?
Right.
And they go that far. Now, very rarely will real life come into play. What happened to Sonya Deville is very rare, very rare. Where someone will literally go to the house and like try and do it. That's again, there are padded cells and institutions for people like this. That's why we have them. But the normal person does not want to knock on their door from the feds or the cops saying, "Are you such and such? Is this your IP address, sir? Can we see your computer?" You will see the blood drain out of their face. You know it, Drew, right? They get
Right.
the knock on that door. They're like, "Holy shit, this shit just got real." Oh shit, I threatened, Kayla Braxton. I actually said I hope her whole family dies. Is that illegal? What did I do? You will see 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. But you don't ever want it to get to that point because you got to say to yourself, "My God, what am I doing here? It's a wrestling personality. I don't even know her. What do I care? I should just worry about my family and whatever." Why did I say that? Why did I say that disgusting thing to her? Why did I go that far? What angered me about a person I know only on television? I don't have a personal investment. But I think my brother said it a long time ago, and not in a joking way. I don't remember if he said it on his show or he said it in writing, where undiagnosed mental illness is rampant in this country, and not the mental illness of poor Steve, poor Jennifer, they're so down, but of people just really unhinged who just need one little thing to push them over the top, and they are going to make other people's lives miserable because they are undiagnosed and unchecked, and their families kind of put them on the pay no mind list. So now strangers have to suffer for that. And I think it was pretty sure my brother Draper said it months ago. And it was not a haha. It's true. It's absolutely true. And some of these people
Absolutely.
are on our social media. They are. They're on our social media. And again, and they're targeting people. They get a fixation and a fascination with people. I myself have been targeting other people over the years. My former partner has been targeted. Joey, Mish, my brother, everyone I know. Listen, I don't think you've even made it in podcasting till you get a rampant stalker. And it's usually a male. It's not like some female. It's not like any of us are drawing chicks. We all wish. But I'm saying that it's usually some guy. It's not any girl or anything. It's not a woman. It's not a female. When females get these bad reps from guys, unhinged and bitches. Well, men are way worse. Are you kidding me? I'll take a female fan base any day over a certain guy fan base. The women are much less fucking emotional. It's like the emotional needy guys are more men that I see than females. No way. you know. And so again, for Kyla Braxton, I just had enough because what about all the fans that are good to you? And people would say that to me, like, yeah, what about all the? Yeah, of course, but you ever hear the expression, "A couple of rotten apples can spoil the bunch"? You've heard that
Yeah.
expression, right?
Yeah, of course.
One bad apple can spoil. There's even a song about it. It's true, and some people get fed up. And Kyla Braxton's not a coward, and I'm not going to shit on her. And I saw some people go, "She can't take it," but why does she have to take it? Why does that 27-year-old single female who doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend to come protect her, and not dating any of the boys in the locker room, and to come to her rescue on social media? She has got to be careful. Just like Sonia Deville was with Mandy. Look what happened with Sonia. Where was Sonia's girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever when she was on a vulnerable person who could have been murdered? Oh, she's tough. She would have been stabbed and murdered. Let's be honest. The guy had a knife. He would have killed her. Doesn't matter if she knows how to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, Drew, big hunting knife versus wrestling, hunting knife wins. Last time I checked.
Well,
What?
she's also ex MMA, but go ahead.
That doesn't mean anything, dude.
Yeah, I know. I get you.
No,
I get
but
you
you know what I'm
'cause-
saying? All you have to do is put your hands on a serrated knife blade. Your hands are cut up, and then he stabs her in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it's funny you bring that up because I had RJ on the show. This is actually the first time RJ was on the show, and we brought that that bit of news up where the thought process was oh, she's ex MMA, she could have taken him down. I'm like, and me and RJ were just like, well, the guy came prepared, like he knew what he was gonna do. So, and you're right, a knife, she, she could have knocked it out of his hand, but at the same time, he also had pepper spray. He could have taken her vision out, and that's all you really need. And luckily, she saw him and she got the fuck out of there. So it's good that Sonya got out of there. But I think a similar thing just happened to Paige. And yeah, I'm not the biggest Paige fan, but at the end of the day, that's a human being. That shouldn't happen to anyone.
Do you know one time it plays into it and doesn't at the same time, but it just shows you how people can be taken off. Anybody can win a fight at any time, or anybody can take somebody out at any time. Guy we know is a pretty tough guy at a show maybe 2 years ago. And we don't ever encourage anybody going outside to finish it or whatever. We try and discourage that, keep somebody behind, let somebody go, parking lot, get to their car. Then we let the guy who's fighting go after him. Gone. But these two guys were going out at the bar. They both asked to leave, and we kept one behind. And the one guy that we kept behind was a guy that we knew, reputation, tough guy. Again, MMA training, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff. The other guy we didn't know anything about, but he was a smaller guy, and we thought this guy that we knew, his name was Sean, would kill this guy if we let him out. So we were keeping Sean back to protect this little guy who was very mouthy. But what happened was we thought the guy left that he was arguing with, and we let Sean go. And then the next thing we know, girls like, they're fighting. And we go outside, and Sean is down on his knees, like holding his face. What had happened was the guy had taken a 40 bottle, alcohol, smashed it on the floor, and the glass went up in Sean's face, and he was blinded by glass. And the guy just pounded the shit out of Sean while he was on his knees. So Sean's MMA meant nothing once the glass went into his face. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, and that was 15 seconds that happened. Not even 12 seconds, I think. Guy went out, Sean saw him, went after him. The guy took the bottle, smashed it right at his feet. Glass went up in his face, and he was blinded by flying charades of glass. Picking out glass out of this guy's eyebrows for the next hour outside the club. And the guy took off. Who fucking did it to him? Now he was on camera, and eventually the guy got arrested and stuff. But again, that guy went outside and got prepared, knowing I can't take this guy, but I know what I'm going to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In that time that we thought he was going to his car, what he did, he went out and he got a glass bottle out of his car, and he said, I'm going to smash this right on the floor in front of him, and it's just going to fly all over him, then I'm going to deck him. And that's exactly what he did. Now, fair fight, he would have been destroyed. No one who's looking for a fair fight. People are looking to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and this
going back to
so again, the point being is that that's when people say, "Oh, he could have took him." Yeah. Look, Bruiser Brody could have taken Jose Gonzalez. Don't you believe that? If he wasn't in the shower in Puerto Rico in 1988, naked, you think Brody maybe would have kicked his ass without the knife involved?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
going back to the Sonya thing, it's like Sonya probably could have beat that guy's ass, but she saw what he was working with, and she saw that he came prepared, and she went, you know what, I'm going to do the smart thing, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to take my friend, and I'm going to get the fuck out of here and call the police. So yeah, it's all going. I'm thinking of a quote, and I'm forgetting what movie it's from. The quote is, just because you have the power to do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Right.
And
exactly.
I'm forgetting what movie that's from, so I'll try to remember.
I think it was Smurfs 2, Smurfs in New York.
There you go. actually, you know what? It's the first Spider-Man.
Come on, guys in the chat, put me over. That was funny.
Don't put him over. Don't put him over. Don't encourage him.
Someone put me over. Go on, Kyle. Put me over. That was funny. Come on, Smurfs.
Come on, Kyle.
There is, but Kayla Braxton is not a coward, in my opinion. She's a young girl. She's a single young girl on television who's not, doesn't have, listen, I'm sure she has wrestler backup if she even asked for help. Hey, I'm being harassed by guys. I'm sure guys would come out, or even women would come out and defend her in droves. She's part of the WWE family. But I'm maybe even sure she maybe even told Triple H and Stephanie, listen, I'm going to get off Twitter. Do I need to be on there? I know I host shows. Is it a problem if I don't go on there? And they probably say, listen, if you feel unsafe, no one wants to be that guy or that girl to tell people everything's cool, and then something goes down. You know what I'm saying? They learned their lesson from Sonya Deville. But again, I didn't think it was fair. Some people called Kayla, no names mentioned, but who called Kayla, a coward or suck it up or whatever. She's a young girl, she's a young female. And I don't want to hear, well, they want to be equal to men. Stop it. It's not the fucking same thing. I mean, if you want to be a jerk, then be a jerk about it. But if that was your sister, that was your girlfriend, that was your wife, or even that was your friend that you grew up with on the block, you would feel bad for her. And again, some people said some heinous shit. I saw some of the things that some of the people said about, well, you didn't care when you had COVID the whole time and you probably gave it to somebody. It's like, how do you know she didn't care? Like, what kind of comment is that? When did she say she didn't care? And it'll be a good segue into Jericho, by the way. But Kayla Braxton, I have my little things with her, and even one time I even got into with her a little bit about something, but nothing that got me blocked or nothing that I don't like her and everything. Actually, I've grown to like her a little bit. I don't think she's the best replacement for Renee. I think Renee's Renee. It's hard to replace Renee, but Kyla's growing on me a little bit. But again, she's a young woman. She's not, again, young single girl just doesn't want to deal with that. And I think it's like she's fragile. Aren't we all fragile? Aren't we all? I think I've been the most vulnerable I've ever been in the last year because of not working regularly, not knowing about where my income's coming from, not knowing when I'm going back, not knowing what's the right move to make next. So I think we're all vulnerable. Anybody who doesn't feel vulnerable now, and even when, people are kind of biting their nails the next couple of days. We talked about it opening the show. Trump's out in a few days. Is shit going to go down? Is something going to happen again? Like, should I worry? I'm worried. Something's going to. Will there be civil war? I don't want to take sides. I don't want it. I thought it was going to be a better year, 2021. I thought this was all in the past. Me too. So does a lot of us. We thought that too. So again, people just want to watch wrestling and escape. Again, podcasters like this show and other shows have to keep your eye on the ball. They come here for talk and discussion and debate, but the most thing they come here for is escapism from the bullshit that they have to read on Twitter every day. We're supposed to provide more laughs than fucking frustration. Do you know what I'm saying?
I completely understand. As far as keeping their eye on the ball, that segues into Chris Jericho.
Yeah, and what's up to Fatty Chris 316 who just joined us?
Yeah, welcome, man. All right, so Chris Jericho was on his podcast, the Talk is Jericho, and I believe the guest he had on was Alex Paddle, an intensive care unit doctor in Toronto. I don't know if that was the guest or whoever, but
right.
He revealed, and I have the quote right here on Bleacher Report. It says, "I haven't really told anybody about this, but I tested positive back in maybe September. And I had 0 symptoms. I'm one of the ones you said. I had my 10 days in isolation and stayed away from everybody. And I didn't even know that I had it. And I went and got a test just in general. And it's oh my God. It's one of those ones where they said you're positive. And I'm like, really? Are you serious? And I had nothing. I didn't have a headache. I didn't have a cough, which I guess is a very lucky thing. But then on top of that, through Alex, and you'll know this once I did have it, and it wasn't a false positive because I took 3 different tests and they were all positive. But now I have the antibodies, and then it goes on to talk about the whole Fozzy concert at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota during the pandemic. That event as a whole was ultimately linked to more than 255,000 COVID-19 cases nationwide, based on a study by the University of Colorado, Denver. I mean, yeah, this is very surprising because someone refreshed my memory. But when was Jericho? All right, anyone that actually watches, AEW thoroughly, when was Jericho out? Like, when was there a time that Jericho was
I think it was that. Well, he was out for a week or two. He did the Sturgis concert. He was out for like a week preparing for Sturgis, and which was, when was Sturgis? August? Sturgis, August?
You know what? Come to think of it, I think that's when he was doing.
Kyle, when was Sturgis? Kyle will know.
I think that was when he was doing his program with Orange Cassidy.
Let's see. I see people in the chat, but they're not responding. Hold on a second. Let's see. Sturgis every year is usually, I believe, August.
Yeah, Kyle said August.
Is it August? Thank you, Kyle. So yeah, August. Okay, so if he was diagnosed positive in September, it's likely he got it at Sturgis, where a lot of people in September were diagnosed with having COVID. A bunch of performers were diagnosed COVID positive about a month after the event. Because people saying, he could have got it from someone else in AEW. And now you see the conspiracy theorists saying this could have been like some sort of fucking go round the bend thing where it ended up going to Brody Lee, who some people are still convinced, by the way, died of COVID. I don't know.
Which is idiotic.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Because they want to, trace it back to the, to the insensitive Jericho. Jericho had a podcast last week where he was doing more COVID denial. People are going, what a 180 from a show he did 7 to 10 days ago. So I went and checked that out. And basically, Jericho has kind of been on the tip of, kind of being annoyed with COVID, not wanting to keep him from performing. He's not a denier, but he was not, he wasn't selling it. Let's put it this way, as some big colossal disaster. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and you should be okay. That's pretty much what he was doing. He wasn't overstressing it. And I think he's had to deal with a lot of haters online and blocking a lot of people. And I think, again, Jericho is one of those guys weird, far more liked than hated, but he's getting a pretty decent contingency of people who don't like him. You notice that, Drew?
Yeah, and it's funny because when I was on the Hammerlock Hangover with Jeff Lippman and Steve.
Great show, by the way. Great show.
Great show.
Really, I love those two.
No, it is. I genuinely like those two guys. And kind of off topic. Apparently Shaheen thought it was funny how you and me were arguing over what the name of the show was.
What do you mean? Oh, he thought it was funny. Yeah, I love Shaheen too. I love all those guys, man. I really do. Because I thought it was called. What did I say it was?
I don't know. I think it was like the Hammer Show or
something. Hammerlock, the well hung guys. I forget. I love those guys. Well hung. What's wrong with that, man? You get some females checking out the show. Well hung in headlocks.
Going back to the show, like we brought up the whole topic about whenever the NBA fans were chastising Jericho for his weight, and Steve asked me what I thought about it. I was like, I mean, it kind of is what it is because again, it's not cool to shit on people for their looks, but at the same time, I think Jericho is probably one of the very few that doesn't really give a shit what people think about him. Like he's he makes it very clear, I'm gonna do what I want and I don't care what people think. I'm gonna be a Trump supporter. I'm gonna donate to Trump's campaign. I'm gonna condescend people that say anything bad about AEW. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. I'm going to have a concert at a motorcycle rally during a pandemic, and he makes it very clear that he doesn't care. And it's warranted that people dislike him because I don't know if it's a middle age thing or I don't know if it's being out of WWE that
I could tell you if it's a middle age thing. Go ahead, ask.
It probably is, but
I'll tell you.
It's a middle. It's more than likely a middle age thing, or it's also another thing I believe I pointed out to you, which was he's on the WWE. He doesn't have anyone to rein him in.
Right.
He's in AEW. He has people that are kissing his ass and telling him that he's amazing and that everything he does is amazing and everything he does turns to gold. Blah blah blah. So not to sound like Jim Cornette, it's an outlaw mud show in AEW. The inmates are running the asylum, and there's nobody to rein them in. So I think, and also Tony Khan's paying him a lot of money, and Jericho's kind of let that get to his head, and it's insane because partly because a while back I loved Jericho. I loved his stuff in WWE. I loved the list stuff. I thought that was his best work.
Sure, yeah. And
now he's in AEW, and it's again, middle age is more than likely the cause of this. But I've never seen such a heel turn in life, not just on the show, but in life.
I agree. I mean, again, people. The biggest enemy you can have is someone who used to be a friend or a fan, right? Not because they know you and they can blackmail you with certain things with that, because then you got stuff on them too. We all have it, ex-friends. I got something on Drew. Well, Drew has something on him. Oh, I got something on Kev. Well, Kev has something on him too. So we'll play the game of who's the most shitty friend. You know what I mean? Who's the real bad guy? here's my thought process on that always is, if I'm not involved, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if someone tells me, but the other day, I have a friend, two friends who are not getting along in real life, nothing to do with podcasting silliness. Uh, and they just over COVID and politics, and they've had arguments on Twitter and Facebook. They don't even, they unfriended each other, and they used to be very close. They're both female friends. And even when my female friend got a dog, I said, "Oh, did you tell such and such got a dog?" No, she's not talking to me because of fucking what I said back in November. I'm like, that's so stupid. Just get over it. And she's like, and then she's like trying to sell me, Kev, she's not the great person you think she is. And I'm like, why do you say that? Oh, because she said this and that to me. Yeah, because she's mad at you. I like both of you. I'm not playing that game. I'm not going there. It's like, was my name mentioned in any of these fights? No. Then work it out, or sorry to see your friendship evaporate, but I'm still friends with both of you. That's like if I'm a fan of somebody, I'm a fan of, say, Cross. Maybe say Cross gets into something with somebody else who I'm maybe like. I'm not going to say, well, I got to decide like who I'm going to, put the screws to here. You don't. Just be a rational person and say, you know what, work it out. And even if they don't, who cares? Some people don't get along. Some people don't talk to their brothers or cousins, or some people, have a great relationship with their mom but not their dad and stuff. And it's not from my thing to get involved. And that's like I even say, I says, Chris Jericho, has he personally ever offended me or anything? No, I'm just not really a fan. Do I feel I need to give him a fucking talking to because of his stance on COVID? No, because he's just giving his opinion like anybody else. I know a lot of people that I disagree with on COVID, and I'm still their friend. Matter of fact, I got to call one of my good friends tomorrow who we had a complete disagreement about, because he's my friend, or I'm a fan of his, quote unquote, and that doesn't make me waver because we have a disagreement about something. These are the times, Drew, that the same thing, that there's a lot of things that people don't see eye to eye on. This is the time it's going on. I mean, I don't know anybody who's not in some sort of tiff with somebody over, you said this, I said that, or I think this way, or, oh, dude, I can't believe you support that. And it's not just Trump. I'm talking about other things. COVID, the way it's handled. Should we be able to go back to work? Should we wear a mask on this way or that way? Or should we be able to have these kind of liberties and freedoms? These shouldn't be taken away, or these were. And I feel we were wrong, though I feel we're right. It's gone on so much that people now have projected it onto wrestlers, where it's like, he should know better. Why should he know better? He's a wrestler. He has the same information as you. He had a doctor on, I think, to just say, hey, I'm going to have a doctor on. He'll tell you what's up, since you guys don't believe me. I think, a long time ago, I even learned that I'm good at a few things. I know about a few things. If anybody has me on to talk about, like you do, uh, wrestling shows, concerts, booking bands, cats. These are things that you can feel good and say, Kev knows about this. He's practically an expert. Absolutely, that's my feel. Everything I just mentioned. But if you said Kev knows all about COVID and what's up and stuff, no, I don't. I'm just giving you an opinion, and you might agree with it, and you don't. And I shouldn't have to put a disclaimer, though, because someone to go back and say, if I gave someone advice about a cat, rest assured it's from my vast experience of dealing with cats, having them and stuff. And if I'm wrong, it's by the grace of God that I'm wrong, because I'm pretty on point with that, because I'm pretty expertise in stray cats and homeless cats, and how to deal with them and feed them, and feral cats and stuff. I know it. Same thing with wrestling. I know it. I could still be wrong, but I know wrestling. 42 years solid fan. That's what I got under my belt. But if I make a mistake, say, oh shit, Kev, you were wrong about that thing with COVID. It turns out I'm not a doctor. It was just an opinion. So that's why when people take Jericho to task and just like, you said this and now you're doing a 180, maybe because he's more educated now, and since he had it, it's not like, oh, haha, you had it. Sure. Now you're, maybe it takes that every time. Doesn't people understand that sometimes it takes you to get something right up in your face for you to get it? It's not a karma got. I saw that today. Karma got Chris Jericho. No, it didn't, because Chris Jericho, you saw, Drew, didn't have any symptoms. He wasn't sick for a minute of his 10-day incubation period. Do you know what I mean? So what really got him? We know what got him. Oh shit! I could be a carrier. I could be fine, but maybe I can give it to my mom who's 76, and she could die. Maybe that he needed to have that. He didn't need to get, again, once you get something. Listen, I'm not going to get into a whole thing, and I'm not even going to try to drop a bombshell here. I got diagnosed with something recently. I'm not going to get into. Maybe I'll talk to you about it off the air.
Right.
That's no joke. It's not COVID, but it's something else that hits middle-aged men sometimes, and it could be very serious. And I got a big wake-up call. I knew that genetically, something could happen to me. I knew my age group. I knew, everything, that it could be a possibility. I didn't have any symptoms, but certain tests came back and showed that I have it. And I was very surprised. And now I'm trying to, deal with that and stuff on the scenes, not go on there and get, sympathy points. Because again, and Mish said it great the other day, not everything has to be put on a fucking show. Privacy is privacy. Exactly. And, so I wasn't, deserving of getting what happened to me because I wasn't a denier of it. I just didn't think it could happen to me. Do you know what I'm saying, Drew?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that now it did, and now you're right. My perspective is different. So sometimes, and now you don't say, "Well, Kev, what did I deserve? I didn't do anything. What did I do? What did I kill somebody?" So again, when people say you deserve it, I'm like, you haven't had a moment of clarity because something has happened to you, and then when it's right up in your face, and you have a medical doctor or an EMT or someone telling you, it's much different when a doctor of 47 years tells you something than your friend who made a guesstimation about it who doesn't have a medical degree. Don't you think so, Drew? Don't you take it a little bit more seriously when a physician tells you something instead of a friend who maybe does tiles for a living and isn't a doctor and just made a guess? So again, I don't Jericho. I don't think he's trying to hurt anybody. I just think that he has a way of thinking. He's a man and he wants to be he wants to be loyal to his own cause and doesn't want to seem like he's caving. But I think sometimes it takes something to happen to you for you to not only see the light, but for you to be enlightened and and hopefully get through it, because some things can be serious. I think wishing COVID or anything bad on somebody just because you had a disagreement with them is pretty demented. But again, he didn't get sick, but he learned that you can have it and not get sick. So he was educated. And you could say, well, yeah, he's still going to do concerts. Well, again, he's a grown man. He can do what he wants. If you're not going to be a fan of his wrestling because of his Fozzy stature, I don't know what to tell you, because it's two different things. I don't like Fozzy either, but I am a fan of wrestling, but I'm not a fan of Fozzy. You know what I mean? So again, to go on and on about this, but he to me, it doesn't deserve to be canceled or fired. Some people tag Tony Khan, should fire him. Tony Khan knew all about that he had COVID and didn't even reveal it to his beloved Dave Meltzer and his press pals. Do you remember seeing anybody saying Chris Jericho's
No.
out because he got COVID?
Mm-mm.
And by the way, do you agree to his right to privacy that he didn't have to reveal that? Or did he have an
Yeah, exactly.
obligation? Did he have an obligation as the face of AEW, which he still is, to reveal it? Look, Drew McIntyre had to reveal it. How come Chris Jericho didn't?
Well, I mean, people are entitled to say whatever the fuck they want, say whatever they don't have to say. Drew McIntyre, WWE is different because WWE feels that they have to put everything out in the forefront. And I don't want to compare, but same like what with Roman, his leukemia that we didn't know about, and so he announced it on TV. But again, I'm not trying to compare, but with Drew McIntyre, I think with him it's different because he's the WWE champion. He's or one of their top guys. He's the face or one of their faces. With Jericho, he's the face of AEW, but I guess it kind of dawned on me now. It's different, but it's not. With I just had a brain fart, but with Jericho, Jericho, he has a right to keep shit to himself. And Tony Khan has a right to say, okay, no one else has to know about this. With Drew McIntyre, Vince McMahon has to make everything public. With Roman Reigns' leukemia is different because I think Roman Reigns really went out of his way to say, hey, I don't want anyone else to know about this. Not even, my closest friends, and, only you and, Triple H know about this, and, family, of course. But with Drew McIntyre, it was different because he's the WWE champion. And if the WWE champion has been gone for the past 2 or 3 weeks, of course, people are going to be like, where's Drew McIntyre? Is he hurt? Does he have COVID? So I guess they decided to jump on it and say, okay, he did test positive for COVID.
Right.
Drew said, like with Chris Jericho, it was similar. Drew said, "I'm not sick. I'm not coughing. I don't have a headache. I'm fine essentially, but anyone can get COVID. And wear a mask.
Sure.
You got to take this seriously because I am. I took this seriously and I still got it. So, but yeah, I mean, you're very much right. Everyone's entitled to their own privacy. Jericho, if he really wanted to, he could have said back in September, "Hey, I have COVID. I'm gonna be out for a while." But he didn't, and that's his right. Kind of like it's my right. If like say I got COVID, not to say I don't want COVID, obviously, but say I got COVID, I have the right to not tell anyone. Like I can just tell people on here, "Hey guys, there's not gonna be a show for the next 2 or 3 weeks due to personal. I gotta deal with some shit. See you guys in 3 weeks." Or I can just say, "Hey, I just got COVID. I'm gonna be out for a while. A, B, C, and D." Like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with telling people your business, and there's also nothing wrong with not telling people your business.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I made a conscious effort to not say anything about certain things anymore because it is none of anybody's business, and it's again, I get enough attention from my real friends in real life anyway. I'm saying more than enough. My phone rings quite often throughout the day because again, I've done right by my friends and done right by people close to me, so that's why they care about me in turn. Fake nonsense on to get some likes on Twitter. Feel better soon. That doesn't make me feel better soon. To feel better soon will be people actually calling me, having a tangible conversation in my private time. I'll get a lot more accomplished there than I will on Twitter in 40 characters or whatever you're allowed to post. You know what I'm saying? So again, I get a lot. I got a lot more out of my conversation today with my friend on the phone than I did out of likes, seeking on Twitter. So I'm like, I'm not going to post that. And again, you don't want people to know too much about certain things anyway. Like I said, my family's grossly offended by how much sometimes me or even my brother says about certain things and situations. Some have gotten actually mad at us for talking about certain things.
Right.
So that's why again, kind of backing that truck up a little bit, and not doing that anymore. And I think probably other people should probably do the same thing. But again, most people, again, the other day when last week when we talked about, Cross was, Hispanic and from the Bronx. And, if you're a diehard fan, you know that, but he doesn't go on there and say, you have to learn things about people and certain things you don't know. And you just know born here or that, but you don't know how many years he spent there, how much time. But if you know the person, you'll get to know exactly how much. It's like when you look at someone's profile, born here, resides here. That could be like 6 months they were in that town. You don't even know if they were there, went to school there, went to high school there. Well, born, raised, blah, 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 blah. That's like in a profile. I think that's where it stops. The mystery about celebrities to me was great back in the 80s and 90s because I didn't know too much, even about bands, until I started working in the industry. I didn't know much about the guys in Motley Crue other than their stage names. I knew their real names because they got revealed in Star Magazine back in the 80s. And, where they were from Los Angeles, where they started out. But other than that, I didn't know much about them. Didn't know their sister's name. Didn't know Tommy Lee's sister. Didn't know anything unless it made the magazines or something, But I love the mystery about it. I didn't need to know too much. Not knowing too much made them larger than life to me, and I love the mystique of it. You know what I'm saying? Now you know too much about people. You know what I mean? It's like I have no idea how many times Kyle was married. Kyle could be like, love him and leave him type. I have no idea what he's doing in his real life. But, sure, you can have 167 cats. I have no idea. I know you have a cat. I don't know. You might have 16,000 cats. I don't know.
168.
You might have 168. Again, you don't need to know everything about people, especially if it's in a fan listening, capacity. There's no mystery because then you expect everything, and then you think you know the person. Then when the person does a 180 or has a change of heart about something, that's not what you said. You said that, and you're like, oh shit, that's right. I fucking told these motherfuckers too much. So it's like I changed my mind, and I have to overly explain myself to people because I had a change of heart from a year ago. Just like with Jericho, like I said, he put it out there with the COVID so much that now when he got it, he's got all these fucking people throwing things in his face from shit that he said on previous shows. He probably just should have just one blanket statement and just let it go. That's what I kind of like about Joe Rogan. Joe just kind of says something and then they'll talk about it if he feels like it, but he doesn't let anybody. He doesn't even go to social media, even take opinion polls and stuff. And he's managed to navigate and do his shows without that kind of nonsense. And it seems like wrestlers and podcasters and all the guys can't figure out how to navigate properly. We all think we know Twitter. Everyone brags about my Twitter game is on point, or I know what not to say, or this guy doesn't know his Twitter game. I'm like, nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. That's why Kayla Braxton left it, because she can't figure it out, and she's got fucking have 200,000 followers who mostly love her, and she's been disenfranchised with it. So there's nothing to figure out. You know what it is, Drew? You have good experiences and you have bad experiences. And when the bad experiences overwhelm the good, you want out. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a relationship. I'm loving being with my girlfriend, but now times are bad and shit's bad. And the good times are being fogged out of your memory. And now all you see is misery. And now you want out. That's the way it works. And it's the same thing with a gig or even a show or being a fan of somebody.
Or a job.
Or a job, exactly. Me too. I'm not going back to certain clubs that I left with COVID because I don't like the way they responded or treated the employees while we were gone, like we didn't exist. And now when it comes back, okay, come back. How you guys been, by the way, in the last year? I haven't talked to any of you because you didn't give a shit. You showed your true colors during COVID. You didn't care about us. We're not a family like you said we were at the Christmas party in 2018. It was some family. I didn't hear from you for 12 months. You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes your eyes have to open to how people behave. And as they always say, I think true colors are when there's a crisis and how you behave. I don't believe that, because everybody says shit and talks shit. But I think when something really goes down and you think you're going to lose your money or it's going to cut into your fucking piece of the pie, and you get, that's when you show like if you're down or not. Some people are super gem. My friend who called me today, it just, had 2 meetings and squeezed me in and was running late for a meeting, but he wasn't finished talking to me. So he was like, let me call you later and pick up the conversation. I'm like, dude, call me when you get a chance. He goes, no, I'm not done talking to you. I'll call you right after I'm out of the meeting. As soon as he gets out of the meeting, call. That's a friend. That's a guy, you can't even take stuff like that for granted. When you have people like that close to you. And that's a guy I know as many years as I'm a wrestling fan, since 1979. So that's a great thing, I mean, they always say you judge the people by the company they keep. If that's the case, I'm a swell guy.
You definitely. That's the best way we're going. That's the best way we're going to describe you, Kev. You're swell.
Swell. Yeah, swell. Kev Swell Castle. There you go. Not swole. Swell.
Big swole. Kev swole.
Big swell. No, big swell. Big swell. Big swell, not swole. Swell.
I'm going to remember that. Kev Swell. Yeah. The swell Kevin Castle.
I need a new nickname anyway, so I'm good with that.
This, I guess, second to last bit of news we can get into before we, I guess, close it out with NXT. Lita was on Twitch, I believe, and she revealed that she didn't want to do the live sex celebration with Edge, the night after he won the WWE title for the first time at New Year's Revolution when he cashed in the Money in the Bank. And she revealed she didn't want to do it. I don't have the quote right in front of me. I'm just going off what I remember. She didn't want to do it, but she was forced to, or there was fear of her losing her job. So she ended up doing it, and she believes that's why she ended up getting jobbed out, whenever she, whenever her contract, ran out, she left the company. So what are your overall thoughts on that?
Ironically, again, these weird things happen. These cross-section karma things happen with me every time. It's weird. Even with the Night Stalker thing coming online today, and I said, my God, I just joked about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, a week ago, making an AEW joke. And I brought up Richard Ramirez out of the blue, and now there's a big documentary thing going on the Night Stalker that's coming on. I had no knowledge of that. I just pulled Richard Ramirez out of my ass, literally. And I said I'd rather have my kids be into Richard Ramirez than watch AEW. It was like, oh my God, like the Night Stalker serial killer. I said, yeah, I'd rather than be a fan of his, to be honest with you, than Cody Rhodes. But and I pulled that out of my ass, like literally. And now tonight, Night Stalker documentary going, and everyone's like, "Did you know about that last week?" I'm like, no knowledge of it at all. Richard Ramirez popped into my head, and that point being is last night I was looking for something to watch. I'm doing this project in my house. I'm moving my furniture around and painting the kitchen, and trying to keep Amy, my cat, out. It's a big process. So I have the laptop on, and I'm just have stuff I'm watching because I just have it on my kitchen table, and I'm like I'm just gonna put some music on. I'm like I'm gonna put some wrestling documentary or some podcast on. So I'm on WWE Network, and I go through and I say the Edge, You Think You Know Me documentary, and I punched it on. I don't have to, like anybody else, I don't have to watch something. I can listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't have to like stand there and watch it. I listen to it like a podcast. I just listen to the voices, and while I'm painting. So I go, I haven't really listened to this in a long time. I'm gonna put it on. And I remember when I got to the live sex celebration part of Edge's career and him and Lita having the affair behind Matt Hardy's back, I stopped what I was doing and I sat down and watched that part, the 10, 15 minutes that it was on.
Right.
And I remember them talking about it and Lita talking about that she was really naked under the sheets, that she was literally naked, and so was Edge. When Edge put her underwear in his mouth, that was really her underwear. And so she was like totally nude, and Edge talked about that he couldn't get aroused, that he had flaccid dick syndrome or whatever. And there were, it was kind of funny, but I'm like, wow, when I look back, and then they talked about the 5.1, Kyle will probably correct me. Kyle, what was the rating for the live sex celebration? I think it was 5.1 or 5.3, and it was the highest rating that year, and in the last 3 years before that of Monday Night Raw. It was over 5 million. And but isn't that ironic? Like now that brought up, and again, didn't know Lita commented on it, didn't know anything. I just put this on randomly the other day, and I remember saying to myself, "Well, they were seeing each other at the time. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. That's why she got naked, because her and Edge were actually involved at that point. So that's why it would have been. I mean, asking her to get naked to a guy that she's just doing a gimmick with, but they were intimately involved. You know what I'm saying, Drew?
Yeah.
Be much different. Hey, Kevin's girlfriend, you mind getting naked in front of him? Well, I do all the time, no problem. Hey, you mind getting naked in front of his brother? No, I don't want to do that. So you know what I'm saying? So there's a big difference. So when because I was thinking about it, I was really pondering it, saying, wow, like, would they have asked Lita to do that if she wasn't intimately involved with Edge? Would she have gotten naked under the sheets with just another wrestler? If it was Zack Ryder or something, would she have done? No, they couldn't have asked her to do that. That would have been a lawsuit, right? It's because that they were involved. Don't you believe that that's what it was? It was because it was real life.
4.3. It was a 4.3 rating.
No, it was five. It was over 5 point. It was over 5 point. The live section.
5.2. There you go. Kyle.
5.2. Thank you, Kyle. That's right. I knew it was over 5. But do you agree, Drew, that it was only because they were intimately involved? They would have never asked a girl to get naked with just a random wrestler in a bed.
Oh, exactly. Because that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like, what example can I use? It's like when AJ Lee was playing Daniel Bryan's girlfriend. They weren't going to ask her to do that, and if they did, she would have said no because she wasn't actually romantically involved with Daniel Bryan at the time. And I believe at the time he was, seeing Brie. That was like, when they started dating before they got married. If it was like, get naked with Punk, she probably oh my God, I don't know why I can't talk to you. She probably still would have said no because, they're very private about their private life, but
right.
I get what you mean. But yeah, it's funny you brought the whole Edge thing up. Yeah, it's like, they don't have a problem with getting naked in front of each other, but in front of a live audience, an audience of that, magnitude, you just want to, if you're going to fuck, you're going to fuck in private. You don't want an entire audience watching. And
yeah, I'm just saying, there's no way they could ask that. You talk about today. What year was that with Edge? 2006. 6. Okay. That was 15 years ago, right?
What is it? Oh yeah, 15 yeah, you're right.
15 years ago. Okay, who was president then? Bush? Yeah, Bush was president, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think like the landscape of the country. Were we in PC culture at that point yet? Not really, right? It came a little bit later.
No. Not until after the whole Benoit thing. I think shortly afterwards.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, Obama took over as president in 2008, didn't he? 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bush was president.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think like what the landscape was of this country then in 2006. Like, what was the big movie? Like, what was the big TV show? What we were still kind of like anything goes kind of thing. Well, I could have sworn like by 2006 we were PC, but I guess it wasn't until 2008 or 9 we got really PC. Yeah, Kyle saying 2009. Katrina just passed. Yeah, I guess so. But because again, we talk about you'd never see that today. Well, I think a couple of years from that point, you would have never seen that. 2010, you wouldn't have seen that. But when I watch it, even to this day, I laugh. I don't think it's hot or anything like that. I think it's funny. I mean, just and the looks and there's kids in the audience wearing John Cena shirts, right? It's really weird with kids on the shoulders of their parents in the front row when Edge is going supposedly down and Jerry Lawler's like, he's going down south on her. I'm like, oh my God. Like, can you imagine going said on a live broadcast today, like Daniel Bryan's going down south on Brie. Can you imagine them saying that? I mean, it was guys. Go back. Everyone who's even listening to this chat or you listen on download. Go back and watch that the entire segment from start to finish, and you'll find everything not wrong with it in a moral way, but everything wrong and just putting it in front of children way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, for adults, yes, but how many kids were in that audience? Go look at the faces. They even still shotted camera stuff of kids wearing Cena shirts, the old school John Cena shirts, because this was when John Cena was still, up and rising in the title picture. But and Edge, of course, lost the belt very shortly thereafter to John Cena. So, but again, from the underwear in his mouth and Jerry Lawler saying he's going down south on her, you just shake your head and go, I cannot believe that this actually even aired back then. But I think Lita had a choice. But listen, look what happened. They had an affair. Poor Matt lost his fucking job. I mean, a lot of shit went down. They talked about Edge talked about it was the most miserable time of his life on a personal level because he got such heat. And William Regal talked about that he was one of the only people who stayed true to Edge as a friend and doesn't turn his back on his friends. And Edge didn't kill anybody. I mean, people had an affair. People had an affair. People had an affair of the heart. That doesn't mean I turn my back on my friends. He didn't murder anybody, and I agree. I probably wouldn't have turned my back. I 9 out of 10, I would not have turned on a friend because he had an affair outside of his relationship. Her and Matt Hardy and Lita weren't married. You know what I'm saying, Drew? They weren't married.
Yeah.
They didn't even live together. So it was like boyfriend girlfriend. I'm not being diminishing boyfriend girlfriend relationships. But when you don't have a ring, the old saying, you don't have a ring on it. You're not married. You didn't take the last name. You're not living together. A little bit different in my eyes. I'm sorry. When I see someone cheat on a BFGGF or someone who goes out on their wife and kids, big difference in my opinion. Don't you agree? Do you agree with? I mean, you can tell me if you agree or not, but I think it's a that's a home wrecker. Someone who takes a husband from wife and children at home, waiting babies in the fucking carriage. That's a big deal. Boyfriend, girlfriend, no children involved. I don't know about that, dude.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you because I
Yeah.
remember watching that documentary. And, when Edge said, a lot of people turn their back on him, including Mick Foley, I'm like, for what?
Yeah, for
And
what?
then I think Mick Foley alluded to it's like, oh, you don't do that to the boys. I'm like, and that's another conversation for another time. William Regal, was a true friend. He's like, I'm going to stay true to my friends. I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, I loved. If I ever meet Regal, like one day, I'm going to say that shit rang true, so true with me. Because like my friend Rob today, like who has been with me thick and thin, he had a thing at discretion to his relationship, and he was married, and he had a thing, and he's now with his second wife and happily married for years, has children. But years ago, he had kind of stepped out of his relationship, and everyone stopped talking to him, and I never did. And he always brings that up to me that, like and so I was thinking about that and what Regal said. I kind of said the same thing to him. Like I'm gonna turn my back on my friends over something like this, and now I need him in another aspect. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm there for you, like you were there for me." So again, those kind of friends, man, everybody should have a friend like that.
Absolutely. And, you brought up something that was kind of interesting to me. What was the landscape as far as like movies and TV shows in 2006. Actually Googled movies and TV shows from 2006.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so this is from realgood.com, and these are the movies and TV shows in 2006. Well, according to this list, The Departed,
Okay.
the Prestige, good movie by the way.
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth, Casino Royale,
Okay.
Dexter, V for Vendetta, The Lives of Others, never heard of that. Children of Men, Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, I just watched that the other day.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
Little Miss Sunshine's okay. It's. I like Toni Collette. I'm a big Toni Collette fan.
Right.
Really like her. I always am amazed when she talks with a British accent because she plays so many Americana type of girls.
Right.
I've seen her in so many. The Way Back, in Her Shoes. I love Toni Collette. I'm not a big fan of the 40-Year-Old Virgin guy. But I like Alan Arkin a lot. I'm a big Alan Arkin fan. So it had enough actors that I really was digging. And it's kind of cool. The girl who played the little girl and the did the little dance and everything, famous for, she's still around today. She was in Zombie Land last year with the new one, Woody House, and she's in the franchise. What's her name, that actress?
I think Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin, yes.
Abigail
Breslin. Yeah, Abigail Breslin. She was 10 years old or something like that in Little Miss Sunshine. Good film, though. A lot of funny moments, some sad moments, but it was a little emotional roller coaster watching the movie. It was very, very good. So anybody who's never seen Little Miss Sunshine, check it out. It's probably find it anywhere for free, let alone 99 cents. But yeah, I liked it a lot. But 2006, The Sopranos was still going, right? Yeah, Sopranos was still going. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. There you go.
And Maurice is saying he was in high school back then, and so was Kyle, junior high school.
I was in junior high.
I was 47. No, I'm like, I was on the Minority Report show. It was called online or internet radio. It was not called a podcast, not remotely. It was called an audio show. We were off the phone lines at that point, and we were on audio, and that's when we were interviewing people and I got to be part of that too. Jimmy Valiant, and 2006, I think we interviewed Doug Basham, and that's what I remember mostly about 2005, 6, 7 was interviewing wrestlers for Minority Report, Minority Roundtable. Chris Benoit was still alive. Wow.
Eddie had passed away around in November of 2005. So
I remember that phone call with Draper. I remember that night very well. My brother called me that night when Eddie died.
I just remember, and I don't want to bring the show down. We'll continue this, but I just remember being on MySpace, and there was a wrestling page I followed on MySpace that was showing a picture of Eddie, and it had 2 dates. I just remember being like, "What?" And so I looked up on the website, and sure enough, and I was just floored with emotion. Like I don't think I've cried that hard. I don't think I've cried that hard in a long time.
Let me tell you, did you ever see his gravesite thing online on YouTube? The guy who went to pilgrimage to his gravesite in Arizona.
I remember seeing. Here's the thing. I remember there's a website where you can actually see
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. YouTube people go there and everything. Yeah.
I didn't see the YouTube page. No.
It's on YouTube. Anybody wants to see Eddie Guerrero's grave? It's a beautiful cemetery in Arizona. Beautiful, most nicest cemetery I've ever seen in my life. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It was done in April of this year. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got thousands of followers. He's pretty big time on there. It's a guy who goes to grave sites of wrestlers, and it's not in a morbid way. He does a nice tribute to them, talks about seeing them, meeting them at autograph sessions. It's a good kind of fan, not a creeper type of fan. Guy's pretty elegant the way he talks and the way he presents his shit. Go online now. Put a visit to Eddie Guerrero's gravesite, and you'll find it. Beautiful cemetery. I've never seen a cemetery. Drew, you got to see the cemetery. Waterfalls and fucking fountains spurting out water, palm trees, beautiful part of Arizona. Clearly, Eddie was taken care of, whether it was by his own family or the WWE. What a tombstone. My God, that's got to be fucking 20 grand, that tombstone, maybe more. My God, I've seen soldiers, decorated army lieutenants who don't have a fucking send-off like that. And on the flip side, I watched the Von Erichs one that he did in January, two months before this. The Von Erichs are in Texas, and you would think that boy, fucking what's his name, didn't prepare his family for anything. They have very minimal headstones. David, Chris, Mike, Kerry, and Fritz have the best one, but it's kind of a plain Jane shit. Nothing Nothing stands out. As a matter of fact, the guy mapped it out where you can find all the Von Erichs in the cemetery, and it's not morbid. It's actually interesting to watch. And Rick Rude was another one he did. He went to Rick Rude's gravesite in it was either Atlanta or Minnesota, but Rick Rude had a nice headstone as well too.
I mean, I'll definitely look that up after.
Yeah, you got to check it out. Yeah, it's the same guy.
Awesome. All right, so another movie that came out in 2006, The Pursuit of Happiness. With
Will Smith. Yeah, that was a sad movie. That movie made me sad.
It was sad, dealing with what was going on, and then it had a happy ending. So
it did, but it was tearing at my heartstrings, just like fucking the Art of Racing in the Rain killed me the other night. I was crying for 2 days.
I saw you post about that. I have it on my queue.
I stopped crying today. Oh my god!
so don't watch it.
No, I didn't. I knew it was about a dog, but I didn't know that it was going to upset me so much. I mean, it was like a couple of points in the movie. I'm like, I want to keep watching it, but I don't like feeling like this, But I was like intrigued, and I'm not going to give it away. Anybody didn't see Art of Racing in the Rain, but it took me on such an emotional roller coaster ride from a human aspect to a pet aspect. As a fan of dogs, as a fan of a happy ending and people getting what they deserve, or people getting out of a hellish situation to reach heaven. Again, it just took me on so many emotional things that I did find myself all fucking choked up. And I told my friend to watch it. She's like, "Why did you tell me to watch that movie? I was crying all night." I'm like, "I told you it was an emotional thing." She goes, "The dog, it killed me." And I'm like, everyone brings up Marley and Me. It's a different story than Marley and Me. It's not the same thing. It's a similar dog, by the way, as Marley and Me, but it's a different kind. And by the way, I never saw Marley and Me, but I know the ending. The dog dies. But this is if you know the story of Art of Racing in the Rain, the book, it's a different thing. It's about reincarnation. So check it out if you didn't see it.
It's on my queue. I forget which streaming service I have it on, but. Next one is a TV show called The It Crowd. Never heard of that. Inside Man with Denzel Washington.
Saw that a couple weeks ago. Good movie.
I love anything with Denzel, so I'm gonna check that.
I love Denzel. Yeah, I'm a big Denzel fan.
By the way, have you seen a preview for that new movie he's in? It's called The Little Things.
Yes, I thought for a second it was Equalizer 3. when I first saw the promo, I'm like, "Oh, Equalizer 3," and because it looked like him going through the streets and roughing people up and a gun to someone's head. I'm like, oh, Equalizer's back. Because I enjoyed Equalizer. I really liked Equalizer 1 a lot. Equalizer 2, not as good, but I'm into it. And now I know Queen Latifah is playing the Equalizer woman version on a new CBS TV show, I think.
Yes.
Which I'll probably check out. Because I was a big fan of the Equalizer back in the 80s. Ironically, William Zabka, Johnny from The Karate Kid, played the son of the Equalizer. A lot of people don't even know that.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was on about 24 episodes, but maybe a little less, a little more. But he was the Equalizer's son. So, yeah. I mean, again, to me, I like anything that Denzel's in. But as soon as I saw it wasn't the Equalizer, I'm like, I don't know, what is it called?
The Little Things.
The Little Things. Yeah, weird title for a movie. For Denzel.
I mean, in the trailer, he says, it's the little things that tear at you. It's the little things that, kind of mess with your heart.
I know that well.
So, I'm a sucker for, crime dramas. So, we'll see how that works out. Next movie is Blood Diamond with Leo DiCaprio.
Saw it. Yeah, it takes place in South Africa or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's a rough movie to watch.
Yeah, it is rough, yeah.
Next one is a TV show, 30 Rock, which I never watched.
Never watched an episode of that. Never saw
it. 300. Never watched it.
Saw 300. That, along with the other movie that everybody, Gladiator, never really got the whole thing about either one of those movies.
I saw the sequel and I was kind of like dragged into watching it. So next is a TV show, Psych. Never watched it.
I remember it was on after Raw. I remember Psych. Yes, Psych. I remember that. Yeah.
The guy, the lead actor, is actually from San Antonio.
I believe who was on Psych? Maybe Trish or Lita, somebody like that. One time was on Sable. Sable, I think, was on Psych or something like that.
I think it was. Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it was Sable. Next is a movie called The Illusionist, which is basically a carbon copy ripoff of the
Hugh Jackman.
Prestige. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no, The Illusionist is with Ed Norton and Jessica Biel.
Oh, I thought it was Hugh Jackman was in it.
Well, no, The Prestige is with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
You know, like every year they'll like release 2 movies that are pretty much the same thing, except one of them is better and the other is not as good.
Yeah, I remember. What was a good example of that? 2 movies that was similar. And there was a horror movie. I can't remember. Kind of like Wrong Turn, like when they have the Hillbilly Killers, and now they remade Wrong Turn. I heard a remake is coming out of the original.
Oh, which I mean, that could be good. So we'll see.
Chris is saying Armageddon and Deep Impact was similar movies.
Yeah, what were some other movies? I'm trying to think of some more movies.
Well, wouldn't War of the Worlds and Independence Day be similar?
Well, the topic I'm sticking to is like in the same year, like movies that came.
Oh, same year. Okay, same year. Okay, yeah, there's probably a few.
Because I remember there was a movie that Tom Cruise did, and then there's a movie that Will Smith did that came out in the same year. They were kind of like the same movie, except
kind of like
doing better.
Like the Gemini movie, like when they played themselves in another thing.
Oh no! Actually, no, it's not that movie. It's that movie he did with his son, the After Earth.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
And I forgot what the movie that Tom Cruise did, but yeah. Anyways, next movie is The Last King of Scotland with Forrest Whitaker.
Didn't like that. It was about Idi Amin. I know the story of Idi Amin since I was a kid in the 70s, and we took social studies and history and stuff, and you heard about some of these evil dictator people. So I knew who Idi Amin was even when I was 10 years old. You know, he was a ruthless dictator in Africa. Right. They based the Kamala character in a way off Idi Amin, in an offshoot way. Not that Idi Amin was a savage person, but he was very refined. He was a general. He was dressed in military garb. But the original story of Kamala was one of Idi Amin's hitmen, so to speak.
Yeah,
you throw him to Kamala, and Kamala would murder him. Yeah,
you couldn't do anything like that today.
No, not today.
Next, TV show Friday Night Lights. Watch the movie. I didn't watch the TV show.
Never saw either. Didn't see the movie or the TV show.
Next is Borat.
Borat was a big hit back then. I remember everybody was like Borat.
Yeah, because I know your brother kind of has like a sentimental reason for liking it because he said your dad loved the movie.
He thought it was funny. I mean, I don't know if that might be true. I don't remember, but I think my father just thought it was funny. I think my father thought it was funny the way he talked and acted and stuff.
It's weird the way you talk about your dad and how my dad. They're both military guys. I've noticed a thing with military guys is they always like the same kind of stupid comedy movies.
Did your father a huge Clint Eastwood fan like my father is?
I believe so, yes.
Oh my God! And my Clint Eastwood could do no wrong. I got a bunch of Clint Eastwood movies from my dad's collection when my father passed, and I got everything from Kelly's Heroes to movies he directed, Flags of Our Father, and Gran Torino, and of course the Dirty Harry stuff, Sudden Impact, blah, blah. So I mean, my father had every DVD of every Clint Eastwood movie. Anything, Escape from Alcatraz, even the silly movies that he did, Any Which Way But Loose, when he had the gorilla and he got into the fights with the orangutan. My father loved anything Clint Eastwood does is 5 stars. He was like Dave Meltzer. My father had the Meltzer agenda for Clint Eastwood. 5 stars, Dad. That movie was ridiculous. 5 stars.
I could just picture you, Dad. That movie
He
was not
loved
that
Clint
5
Eastwood.
stars.
He
6
loved Clint Eastwood. In a way, it's funny. Just to close that out. One thing I wanted to do, but again, it's hard for someone of his magnitude. I remember me and my girlfriend at the time, about 10 years ago. I wanted to get my father Clint Eastwood's autograph, and we were looking online for stuff. And we were looking at all different autographs, and it looked like different signatures, and we just couldn't trust that any of them were authentic. So it's like, how do you decipher if someone of that magnitude, like what's real and what's the authenticity of it and stuff? And we never pulled the trigger on it because they were really expensive. You can imagine a Clint Eastwood autographed poster or something like that. But I was at one point I was really looking into it, and then I just got nervous about if it wouldn't be legit because he's not a guy who goes to autograph session. You know what I'm saying? He's not. He's so obscure that that's got to be worth so much that someone's selling it for $50 online. Like this can't be real, right?
Hey, dude, would you mind taking over the chat room for a bit? I'm gonna use the restroom.
Want me to take over the chat room?
Yeah, just take over the chat room. Just talk.
Oh, just talk to them. All right.
Yeah, yes,
all right, chat people. Kyle, will you show me proof that you went to see Borat? Kyle, not exactly a ticket WrestleMania 3, you know what I mean? Oh my God. What's that, The Wrestler? Is that the other one? The Wrestler that you went to? You save your movie tickets, Kyle? Oh wow. That's interesting. If I save my movie tickets, man, I'd have like 5,000 movie tickets. Holy shit. Wow, I don't know. I mean, I guess people save their movie tickets. That's pretty interesting. I know people save concert tickets. I mean, concert tickets would be normal. I save my concert tickets too. I was thinking of taking a snapshot of my photo album concert book just to, show it. They're so faded though, because mine are from 30, 35 years ago. The ticket print is so faded on most of them. Chris, you have yours from Independence Day? Oh, geez. It's funny. I still haven't seen that whole movie yet. Heartbreak Ridge was a great movie, Chris. It was. You ever see Hacksaw Ridge? Anybody ever see Hacksaw Ridge? Hacksaw Ridge was great. Mel Gibson. Hacksaw Ridge was a great flick. I think the guy from Spider-Man was the lead actor in Hacksaw Ridge. That was a fucking good movie. I saw that maybe a couple months ago for the first time. No, it wasn't Tobey Maguire in Hacksaw Ridge. It was the other Spider-Man, the other guy. Not Tobey Maguire, the other dude. Andrew, yes. Andrew, yeah. Correct. I don't even know who Spider-Man is anymore. Who's the new Spider-Man? Fucking Ted Nugent? I don't know. Who's the new Spider-Man? Who's the new Spider-Man? Charlotte Flair? I have no idea. Who's playing Spider-Man? I couldn't even tell you. I get confused with all these Marvel release things and stuff. Who's playing this one? Who's playing Captain America? Is he dead? Is the character continuing? I get it. It's too much for me sometimes. No. What's the name? What's that guy's full name, Maurice? Andrew. What's his last name? Spider-Man. Andrew. The fucking Garfield. Thank you. Yeah. But he was good in that Hacksaw Ridge movie. That was a good flick, man. That was good too. I just recently just caught up on a bunch of movies I wanted to see. I told everybody online the other day I finally saw the full movie of The Hunt with Betty Gilpin. Great. I loved it. Finally got to see the whole thing in its entirety without being interrupted every 5 seconds. It was one of those movies where people just didn't want me to watch it. Every time I put on The Hunt, I got a phone call. Someone had to talk to me. I got to call somebody back. And then I'd be on the phone an hour, and then I get disinterested from putting it back on.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So no one tell Drew what we actually talked about while he was gone. He'll have to find it out.
I will find out during the recording, and I will ban each and every single way.
It was no. Kyle saves his movie tickets and was showing me proof that he saw Borat.
I actually used to do that. Like, no lie. Like me and my girl would actually save our movie tickets, and they're actually like still here in our room somewhere. Like we actually have like a little thing we put it in. So it's just like a thing we do.
That's
like
cool.
But do you want to finish out the list and just call it a night?
Yeah, finish out the list and anything you want to close out about NXT.
Yeah, we can just like give like a little 2-minute, 3-minute review of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next on the list is Apocalypto.
I think I saw that. That took place in like the rainforest or something like that, or the jungle.
Yeah, that was a Mel Gibson movie.
Chris said, "Great movie, great
I
movie."
think that came
Aztecs,
out.
Aztecs.
I think that came out like shortly after the whole, like him talking about Jews and getting pulled over and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was about the Aztecs.
Yeah. Next movie is Stranger Than Fiction with Will
Oh,
Ferrell.
yeah, didn't like that. Saw that on cable. Didn't like that. Falling asleep
Yeah,
on it actually.
yeah, it was bland. Next TV show is actually an anime. Came out in 2006. Death Note. There's
Didn't see
any
that.
anime fans here?
Didn't see that.
Well,
Death Note.
well, I mean, you're not really big into anime, right?
Is that bondage? What
I'm
is
going
it?
to take that as a no. Well,
It's not
anime is
bondage?
Japanese animation.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
Like
I mean, it's
Japanese women, but
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of there's a lot of anime fans out there that
gotcha.
big into it. So
Okay.
next one is an animated movie called Cars. Cars. It was and it was like that Pixar movie with the talking race cars.
Okay.
I didn't see it. Next movie is The Host. I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, some octopus coming out of the ocean.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that at all. Next movie is Letters from Iwo Jima.
Oh, good movie. My dad liked that movie. Letters from Iwo Jima. Another war picture.
That was a
Another
Clint Eastwood movie, right?
Clint Eastwood movie. Yeah, another war picture. I don't have that in my collection. I think one of my brothers might have ended up with that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll probably watch it because I genuinely like Clint Eastwood movies.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Next movie, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest.
Never saw any of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Never saw 1, 2, or 3, or how many movies there are. I never saw any of them. That's hand to God. Never saw it.
Yeah, Sam. I never really got into those movies. I know my girl likes them, but it wasn't really for me. Next movie is The Descent.
Oh, saw that. And, saw that on a bootleg copy on DVD when it first came out. My friend bought it at a train station. It's not a bad copy, actually. So I didn't see it in the movies, but I saw when it first came out an illegal copy my friend got a hold of because we had seen the previews and stuff and looked really like a good cave dwelling monster movie.
Yeah, it was a pretty under the radar horror movie. I remember watching it and just getting squeamish. Especially the scenes in the beginning where they're like getting into the cave.
Claustrophobic, yeah, very claustrophobic. I am claustrophobic myself. That's why one time when I had to have the MRI and go in that fucking thing, that canister, I was flipping the fuck out, dude. I didn't like it. No one likes it, but I really didn't like it.
Yeah, I can't stand tight spaces. I mean, the movie was good. It was again very underrated. Not a lot of people talk about it, but yeah, it's just if you're claustrophobic, this isn't the movie for you. So, next movie, a lot of people like it. Devil Wears Prada.
Never saw it. Meryl
Streep, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, never saw it. Heard of it, never saw it.
I watched it. My girl likes it. So I watched it with her. It wasn't a bad movie. So, next movie is The Holiday with promising Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, and Jack Black.
Don't know a lot about that.
Never watched it. Next movie, it looks like an anime, is Paprika. Has anyone ever heard of Paprika? If there's any anime fans in the chat room, let me know if you've heard of Paprika.
Kyle, show us your ticket for Paprika.
Show us a picture of Paprika.
Maurice, where's your picture of you at the Paprika premiere?
Paprika.
I want to see it. I want to see it right now.
Next movie is The Queen with Helen Mirren.
Paprika. The Queen. 2006. The movie sucked. Good Lord, what a suckfest.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a few more left. There's not that many. Next movie is a movie called Tell No One. Never heard of it.
I have a feeling I know what that's about.
Next movie is Babel with Brad Pitt.
That's what I do every show.
This looks like a TV show, Black Book.
No, don't know it.
Another TV show, Eureka.
No, don't know it.
Next movie, Little Children.
Boy, I'm drawing a blank.
I think that's Patrick Wilson in the lead. Anyways, next TV show is Heroes.
Oh, I remember that. My girlfriend used to like that at the time. My girlfriend used to like to watch that. NBC.
Never watched it once. The only thing I remember about it, based on what people said, was that like the first 2 seasons were good, and then it just became garbage.
Yes. Yeah, I remember my ex liked that show. She used to even ask me to record it for her when she had to work.
The lead guy is actually the guy from that movie you watched, The Art of Racing in the Ring.
Yes, Milo. He was also Rocky Balboa's son in Rocky Balboa.
And he's also on, This Is Us on NBC. He's a good actor. I like him.
And he banged Jennifer Lopez on second. What's that movie? Second Chance or whatever it is.
So I mean, he's not hurting. So
good for him. good for him and his penis.
Man, there's a lot of movies I haven't heard of. A movie called Brick.
Don't know.
Deja Vu with Denzel.
Jeez.
Lucky Slevin with Bruce Willis.
Oh, I saw that. That sucked. We watched that.
It looks like it sucks. A movie called Perfume: The Story of a Murderer.
No.
This Is England. Volver with Penelope Cruz. United 93. The Girl Who Leaped Through Time, another anime movie. And there's 4 more movies left. I'm going to close it out. Rescue Dawn with Christian Bale. Pretty good movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
Mission Impossible 3. Fearless with Jet Li. And An Inconvenient Truth. Oh, I was wrong. There's still more movies left. I'm sorry.
Is there? Okay.
Fuck, I don't even know if we're going to finish all this. I'm just going to bring up the movies that people actually heard of. How about that? Rocky Balboa, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was actually pretty underrated.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa was a good movie.
Idiocracy.
Didn't see it.
Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge was awesome. Loved Over the Hedge.
Really? You saw it?
Yeah. It's the hedgehog.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I heard it was good. Half Nelson with Ryan Gosling.
Garbage.
Deliver Us from Evil.
Deliver Us from Evil was a good movie.
Oh, that was the one with Eric Bana, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty bad. I mean, not. It wasn't bad. It was
not bad. Yeah, not bad.
Clerks 2.
That's it.
Ice Age 2, Happy Feet, The Fountain, Talladega Nights.
Fountain was a good movie. That's Darren Aronofsky, who I went to high school with.
Yeah, no, that was with Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah, good film. Can't believe someone was in class with is so successful.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy to think about, that you went to class with somebody and they just became this big time movie director.
I was in a lot of his class. I was in a lot of Darren's classes. A lot of them. I was in social studies, gym, science. I was in at least 3 classes with him: freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year.
That's pretty nuts to think about.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. He liked wrestling too. That's why I remember him, because I bought wrestling magazines and he used to ask to read them. If I read up, he would totally remember me if we. I wrote to him on Facebook, and I had then lost contact. Then he had shut his page down because he actually gave me like a thumbs up, but he never wrote back to me. So I was like, "Oh, cool, he remembers me. Thumbed me up. That must mean like, yeah, hey, I remember you." And then I just never followed up. I got a thumbs up, and that's all I ever got. I never got anything in writing.
Next,
fuck this guy.
It's like, I'm not dealing with his bullshit.
He'd probably be like, yeah, I'm so successful right now. I'm going to do that thing where I'm so famous that I can't really talk to you.
I know exactly how it feels.
That's cute, Kev. You're on a little podcast. I just bought a $10 million home. That's cute. Your little podcast. That's so cute. Your little cartoon image there. That's adorable. Okay. I just hold on a second. My Maserati is acted up.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to finish this list at all.
Yeah, you're not going to finish it.
So let's just talk about NXT for a bit, and then we can just close it out. NXT was it wasn't too bad tonight. I mean, because
Mhm.
tonight they were, starting the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic,
Mhm.
and the matches weren't that bad. We saw the debut of what is it, MSK, which was the Rascal, the Little Rascals or just the Rascals from Impact,
The Young Rascals, they used to sing "Groovin'," and "It's a Beautiful Morning."
right?
Oh no,
So
that's a different. That's different. Oh, that's it's the name of the new team, MSK, right?
they debuted tonight against was it Isaiah Swerve Scott and Tony Atlas. It was a good match. I hadn't seen the two wrestle because I don't really
What's
watch any
MSK
tag.
stand for?
I don't know.
Does anybody, Kyle, Chris, Maurice, anybody know what MSK stands for?
If
Nobody
anyone
knows.
does, please let us know. But we saw that, and they're pretty impressive. No Cross on tonight. Cross had a promo. Well, I mean, Cross didn't say anything. It was just Scarlett doing the talking and basically, playing the seeds for him versus Finn down the line.
Yeah.
What else did we see? Fuck. Why am I blanking on her name? Shotzi Blackheart. Lost to Scar. Not Scarlet. What the fuck is her name? Candice.
Candace.
And then Xia Li, which we have to talk about. Xia Li, I'm becoming a big fan of.
Yeah, me too. Oh, she's so
We're.
cute.
I mean, she is. I mean, not just that. She's. I mean, she's very easy on the eye. She's got those thick ass legs, and she can work. I mean, she looks like she can beat the fuck out of somebody. And we talked about on the show when we had RJ and Monty on. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah,
Uh,
shout out
you know,
to those dudes for sure.
I had said before, I like Xia Li. I thought she was very talented, but she needed something. She needed a character change, and this was. I'll admit, I wasn't a fan of the vignettes. I thought it was just kind of goofy. And then when she debuted, I went, okay, I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, it was very. What's the best way to describe it? Glacier WCW '90s, right? But you know what's funny?
I don't know. I don't
Oh
know
my
about
god!
all
I'll
that,
tell you
but
something quick about Xia Li.
good.
Back in summertime, I remember one time I was in a bad mood. Like I was just in a bad mood, and I remember just not wanting to be around anybody or anything. And one of the fans, I'm not going to say who it was, but one of the fans from Patreon, the friends fans from Patreon. He's not here tonight on this chat, but he's a known guy on our thing. Just hits me up randomly. He goes, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I was like, "Nothing." I go, "Dude, not trying to be rude or anything. I'm not feeling. I'm probably not going to be on Twitter. I just wanted to acknowledge your email. Thanks for writing." He goes, "Oh, I want to show you something." And I was like, "There's nothing you could show me right now, unless it's like money or a hot picture of some female I like." He goes, "Option B." And he sends me a bikini shot of Xia Li. And I just started laughing because I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, I wanted to see that, and I said, "Best thing I saw all day, thank you." But it was really funny where like he's like, "Hey Kev, what's up?" I'm like, "Someone's trying to be rude." I was just like, "Dude, getting off of Twitter, not even staying on here." I mean, he goes, "Oh, I want to show you something. It'll brighten your day." I go, "There's nothing that can brighten my day, but money or some hot girl that I want to see." And then when he said option B, and then show me, it was just funny timing, and it was Xia Li, because at first I didn't recognize. I go, "Who's that? Io Shirai?" He goes, "No, Xia Li." I go, "Oh shit!" And then he showed me a couple other pictures of her. I'm like, "Where'd you get those from?" He goes, "They're online." I go, "How'd you know I'd want to see them?" He goes, "I don't know. I just thought of you when I saw them." And I'm like, I was like, "Wow, okay." I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "All right, great." I says, but that's my funny Xia Li story. That actually happened. That's totally true.
It's like who would really like these, Kevin.
He's a big perverted podcaster, but you really don't know about it. He's kind of like a secret perv, Kev Castle.
It's like
But
that is one hot Chinese girl.
no, she
Kevin
was.
Castle should see these.
She was. And it just shows you how much people pay attention, because it turns out that particular person uh, had paid such attention to everything I say, and he had noticed that I'd said during COVID times that I was talking to some girl, and she was Asian girl or Chinese girl. And he just kind of thought I was into Chinese girls now, and that's why he sent me the picture of her. And I said, it's not that I'm into them now. It's just that I like any attractive woman. I don't care what nationality they are. But I just happen to say, again, that's what sparked him about me, because I'm like, what would make you think about me? And as he's like, oh, I remember you saying something like you were talking to some Chinese girl. And I'm like, I did say that. He's right. And that was so. Again, some fans are very intuitive and really. That's a good thing that someone remembers and then calls me out on. That was one of the more positive things. So they can show me that anyway.
But yeah, we especially Wrestling Soup, we're big Xylee supporters. The entrance is pretty cool. Her in the ring, granted she's been in the ring with just jobbers or trying to get the character over first before they actually get her over. It works. I like it. I'm interested to see who the first big opponent for her would be. Okay, if you had to book anyone against Xylee, if you had to book her your first big opponent, I mean you wouldn't throw her in there with Io Shirai right off the bat. It has to be someone that's a name but still kind of not as big. Who would you put her in there with?
With Xylee for her next feud, is it just playbook, fantasy booking, or thing I think is really going to happen?
Don't start her off as as a title contender right off the bat. You want to build her up and put her against somebody that's a name but not big. Sasha Baron Corbin saying job Ember. That would be a good idea. Again, we don't like Ember. I know you don't like Ember. So
have an intergender match with Kyle, and winner gets his Borat ticket.
That would be a good idea.
No, what would I like to see? I mean, obviously, the answer, not just because they're both Asian girls, but I would like to see China versus Japan versus Io Shirai.
That'd be kind of the dream matchup, but where I was going was at start her off small before you take her to the top dog.
Probably a Leo, and if that's not the case, then Dakota Kai.
Yeah, but in Xylee's supposed to be a heel.
Then have her fight the woman who I think is the best looking white girl I've ever seen, Santana Garrett.
We can do that.
If she's still in WWE, I mean, I've actually even left her a comment, and I guess maybe she thought I was being a wise ass. I said, serious question, are you still in WWE? We don't see you, and I'm a fan, looking forward to seeing you back. I never got a response, but because, again, she might have taken it as, oh, what a dick thing. So, and I wasn't trying to be a dick. I mean, I was just private message her, so you can only leave it on an open comment. Was like, will we be seeing you again? Are you still with the E? Question mark. It wasn't meant to be a dick. I just don't see her talking about the WWE. Am I wrong? Does anybody in the chat know if Santana Garrett is still contracted to the WWE? I don't see her anymore. I see her in bikini shots on Instagram every day, which I'm glad about, but she is a good-looking woman, man. My God. I'm like, well, WWE can't find something for this girl? Jesus. Being a white girl is not easy.
Well, I just thought of it. Xylee, she can just be like a gray area character.
I guess so. I mean, her hair's, she does look a little different, though. She looks definitely a little bit more intense, and to me, she looks shorter than she did. She looks smaller. But who's that ghoul in the chair? Who is that?
What did RJ say? I forgot what he said. He said it was someone they just signed last year and then they got hurt.
Okay.
I forgot. I need to ask him about it. But yeah, I like her character. The other guy with her bow. I mean, I don't know. Karen Q. Maury said Karen Q.
Karen Q. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Bo. I mean, is Bo just like her, the guy on the side, or is he actually going to wrestle?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know much about him. I don't know. Never saw him wrestle. Don't know much about him.
I mean, it'd be nice to see more talent on the show than the same people we see every week. So, I mean, I'm all for Xylee. I'm all for the character. I want to see her continue to improve. I want to see the character more. I want to see her in the ring with some actual competition. So I'm interested to see who her first big challenger is. So what else happened on the show? You had the announcement of the Dusty Rhodes Women's Tag Team Classic next week, and
Right.
the team that I'm going for right off the bat is Tony Storm and Mercedes Martinez.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, the other two teams are go ahead.
It's a makeshift team, though. I mean, it's a real makeshift team.
Yeah, but
Like,
when you look at it, it's kind of
together,
like a legit. Yeah, but it's kind of a look when you look at them, they're legit. Because Mercedes Martinez, she's an ass kicker. She looks like she can beat someone's ass. Tony Storm happens to have a very nice ass, but she can also kick ass in return.
Did you see that? I said it's a makeshift team just slopped together, and Kyle said, just like you and Drew Yari. I was like, hey, come on, man. What are you doing?
Hey, come on. Me and Kev have good chemistry, okay? We can finish.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Kyle who said that. It was Chris who said that. I'm sorry. I'm going to put the heat on Chris. Put the heat on Fatty.
God damn it, Fatty. Yeah, I mean, the other teams, you have Shotzi and Ember, Candice, and who was it? Indie Wrestling. And then what was the last team? Kaiten Canzaro and the other chick. Her name.
Something, I can't remember her name.
Oh, Kaden Carter? Is that her name?
Kaden Carter, yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to announce more teams next week. Raquel Gonzalez gave a promo saying that she's the new bad bitch of NXT. She just had a birthday yesterday. She turned 30.
Wow.
And that's what I was asking, because her dad was apparently a wrestler named Eddie Gonzalez.
Yeah, I just don't remember him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's true. I just don't. I don't. Maybe if I saw some clips, maybe. Okay, maybe he's like an enhancement guy in World Class or Southwestern Texas. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've started to develop a little crush on Raquel Gonzalez.
Is she straight?
Not after I'm done with her.
Nice. Damn, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she'll probably make me straight.
Jesus Christ. Aren't you married, for God's sakes? Jesus.
Who?
Oh, my God. You might have to edit, not from me for once. Jesus.
Hey, my girl doesn't listen to it. My girl doesn't listen to the show. She doesn't like anything I do.
I had the same thing for 10 years. Oh.
She's 6 foot tall. I don't know if that's legit.
And you can't teach that.
You can't teach that. So I mean, she's a very good looking when she's not wrestling, because she posted some photos, for her birthday, and she is, I tagged Draper in it. I said, to quote Draper, that is a good looking woman. And he commented, he's like, I don't even know who that is. I said, that's Raquel Gonzalez. He's like, I really didn't recognize her at all.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's a very. Matter of fact, I'm going to post him in the chat. Give me 1 second.
My friend just sent me a picture that he got a fuck Hulk Hogan shirt.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yeah, it's fuck Hulk Hogan all day.
That's it's pretty out there.
Yeah, God, well, I mean, that's kind of a weird shirt. Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Here we go. There you go.
What is that?
That's Raquel Gonzalez, dude.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's her?
Yeah, that's from her Instagram.
Oh, wow. She looks good.
Again, she's a good looking woman. So I don't know if she's straight. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't straight. So, but I think she's
straight. I don't even. That's such a 70s term. She's straight. She's heterosexual.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she, preferred her M&Ms without peanuts. So
God.
I don't know. But
I don't even know what that means. I'll be honest with you. It comes from years of not knowing what certain things mean. I've heard many things said on many, many assorted shows over the years, and I sometimes got it and sometimes don't get it. Believe it or not, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know.
Yeah, I stole that from somebody. I'm pretty sure you'll know who it is.
Draper.
No. Think other Italian.
Sean Kenter.
Okay, we'll go with that, because Maurice Bear wants to know, what does anyone think of Contra Unit, and does anyone think Jacob Fatu would be in the WWE?
Contra Unit? Is that a band?
Jacob Fatu's in MLW, so I don't know if that's.
Oh no, Jacob Fatu's in Contra Unit. Okay, no, he's in ML. Yeah. I haven't watched. I watched for the Von Erichs because I'm a big Von Erich guy, as you know, and I'm a big fan of the Suns, and I've had interaction with both Ross and Marshall online, just a little message here and there. So I like MLW, but I haven't really paid much attention since COVID, to be honest with you. Since COVID kicked in, I haven't paid much attention. Hey, Maurice, are they back to filming regular episodes like like the other companies now, like NWA? Did they put on new shows? I haven't tuned in.
I believe
Oh yes, March, yes.
every Wednesday before NXT.
It's on. Okay, I got to check it
on
out.
YouTube.
I again, the last thing I watched, the Von Erich boys with their father, I think in April, went back to Sportatorium in Texas and Houston or Dallas, to the old site, and they picked up rocks and saved them as like keepsakes because they were on trip from Hawaii. They live in Hawaii now, and they were in Texas, right, I guess, to visit some relatives. So they stopped by the old Sportatorium spot. It's an empty lot, and they collected some rocks, as member. And they just talked about getting back. And this was in the springtime when there was no shows. So that was the last time I even paid attention to any MLW talent, was last April. So I'm glad to see I think they're still tag team champions, right? And don't they feud with Contra Unit? Do they feud with them? So I'm gonna I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
That's something you might want to ask RJ. RJ is like huge into MLW.
Is RJ into them?
Yeah, he actually reviews it on the show. Like,
I gotta check it out. I gotta get in touch with those guys actually about that.
Yeah. Like I really want to get into it because I saw a compilation of Alexander Hammerstone. There you go, Alexander Hammerstone. And he's like a small Brock Lesnar, and he's really good. He's legit. What's going on, Chrisman? So there's him, Jacob Fatu. I really want to get into it because I don't just want to watch WWE and NXT all the time. I want to support the other companies like NWA and MLW. So
sure.
I really want to give MLW a chance. So, but yeah, Cressman's saying that he's like, hey, don't worry about it, man. We're actually just about to wrap the show up in a bit. So
yeah, let's do a download. What's up, Chris?
NXT. So, like I spoke too much about it. So, what were your thoughts about NXT tonight?
I was in and out watching it to a degree. I had gotten a delivery very late to my house, and I had to put some stuff away. Something a friend of mine sent to me, so I had to disassemble that and cut the boxes up and stuff. It was big. House is a big mess today. Like I said, I'm doing some stuff in the house, removing around furniture and shit. So my house is like a mess. So again, you turn around, I missed the segment. I turn around, and then the girls are on, and I was dipping in and out, and then I saw Scarlett for a second, and then she wasn't there anymore. So it's like I was again not 100% focused on NXT tonight. Thank God this is not a full NXT review show. I wouldn't be able to even be on. But overall, I mean, I saw the Grizzled Young Veterans. If I saw anything more in its entirety, it was probably their match. Everything else, bits and pieces, to be honest with you, because I was moving shit around like the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It was just kind of like, yeah, it kind of was up and down, but it wasn't too much to talk about, and like you said, I'm glad we weren't doing like a full show reviewing it because we wouldn't have had too much to talk about.
No, and did anything happen in AEW of note?
I did not watch AEW.
Anybody on the chat here know if anything like newsworthy happened in AEW?
The only thing I did see was a segment with the Inner Circle where they gave their New Year's resolutions, and that's about it.
Blame Chris Jericho for all them having COVID.
Yes. There's a funny segment where MJF said that he and Jericho wanted to be tag team champions with Jericho, and Sammy Guevara was like, "Whoa. Aren't we supposed to be tag team weren't we supposed to be tag team champions?" And he called Jericho a tag team slut, which I thought was kind of funny.
Oh God!
It was kind of. There was also a nice little funny spot where MJF said, "No more fat people," and I was just like, "Well, you look over at Jericho," but yeah, I didn't watch AEW. Other than that, that was literally the only thing I saw on AEW.
Jeez, knocked my mic right off. Hold on a second. I almost took the mic right off the headset. What was I going to say? No, I didn't. Again, I of course it's mostly for just to be a dick, but I always post about my anti-AEW stuff. But I'll try and switch over there or whatever. And I usually like checking out Anna Jay or if what's her name is on Taya Conti, who I don't like as a human being, but I think she's hot. 'Cause I just think she's kind of like an asshole. I've not heard shitty things about her from people in WWE. But because she's the epitome of someone who doesn't like wrestling, who's totally just in it to like be on television, which is fine, you know what I mean? But people criticize Ultimate Warrior for that, so I hope they do the same to Taya Conti. Someone who has no knowledge of wrestling history at all, even admits doesn't even know who Dusty Rhodes was. So to me, I never understood how you go into wrestling not knowing who Dusty Rhodes or Randy Savage is. How is that possible? But that's another story. But our hotness kind of overrides that. So, but I watched. What was I going to say? So I'll check out the clips online and. I'll even later on tonight, if I'm bored, I'll go see some AEW clips on YouTube or stuff I missed off NXT. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not paying that much attention to Wednesdays as much as I was. Much as I love Cross and everything, and I watch him and everything, I was glad he opened up the show last week because I didn't want to be committed to 2 hours sitting there glued to the TV. Here's my deal right now for wrestling. Okay, here's my deal. I don't know about anybody else. Pay-per-views, I'm glued. I'm watching from start to finish, not getting up, not even going taking a piss break, even when Natty's on. I'm watching the full thing, every pay-per-view, I'm glued. Okay? Documentaries, specials on WWE Network, I'm glued. Don't miss, I don't skip a beat. Monday Night Raw, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm switching channels, Family Guy, what else is on during this? Dolph Ziggler's on, fuck that. Okay? Wednesdays, I'm starting to get like that too. I'll be honest with you. The Cross isn't on. Xia Li's not on, or someone's Io Shirai's not on. Nah, not interested. Who's this? Who's on now? Oh, Oni Lorcan and whatever his partner's name is. I said it was Ted Nugent, but it's not Ted Nugent, right?
It's Danny Burch.
Danny Burch. They're on. I have Kev Castle has no interest in seeing that. So I'll be all over the place. So again, if I'm being honest, and a lot of podcasters are never honest, I'll be honest. I'll make up the honesty for others. I'm not fully paying attention. Friday nights, my deal over Friday nights, a little bit more paying attention, 90%. So out of the 3 WWE shows that are on, SmackDown has most of my attention. NXT, if they continue to bring in guys like the Rascals and interesting new guys, interesting new characters. Dexter Lumis gets pushed up the mountain a little bit. Cross gets that belt. I'll be much more in tune with it. Raw, I cannot promise. It's probably, again, things happen for a reason. And it maybe makes sense that I don't do a Monday recap anymore, even from my own perspective. And I mean this from my own side of things. Because I don't want to commit to that, Drew. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to commit to it.
I'm on kind of the same boat, with
I don't want to commit to it.
Yeah, because tonight I was saying, NXT wasn't terrible, but it wasn't really anything to write home on. So that's why I was kind of like you. I was kind of drifting in and out, of NXT, and that's why I was kind of looking forward to. Okay, there's a lot more to talk about than NXT tonight. We can talk about what happened to the president, A, B, C, and D. So again, like you, if Cross comes up, I'm gonna watch. If Xia Li comes on, I'm gonna watch. If there's anyone I actually care about that comes on, I'm gonna watch, even if it's just a segment. If it's like tonight, the main event was the Undisputed Era versus Fandango or Breezango. I'm sorry.
Look, too. Not to cut you off, but too that because people could say, "Oh, it's your job, podcast." I'm like, first of all, it's not a job. I show you my paycheck for what I get for this. It's has cents on it, not dollars. And second of all, if you are advertising a recap show, then you have an obligation to watch the whole thing. That's not what we're doing here. Matter of fact, if tonight, and I'm not saying anybody's going to complain about tonight's show. I think it was pretty good. But I'm just saying that tonight you didn't say that we were doing a full review of NXT and AEW. And if you said that, I would have said, Drew, I don't know if I can. I would have honestly hit you up with the message and said, dude, if that's what we're talking about tonight, maybe I shouldn't even come on because I didn't even really watch it. And I don't want to fake it, which I know other people do over the years.
Right.
I mean, other shows and people
Right.
I don't work with. But I'm saying that who you can even tell that they didn't even see it because they'll even read it and go, "Yeah, Billy Gunn, good match, not bad, not bad." It wasn't even. It had the wrong notes. It wasn't even on. But I'm just saying that they were reading something from 1993. But I don't want to a recap show, and I'm like, so again, like, I miss doing certain things, but I don't miss recapping stuff that I don't want to watch. So pay-per-view recap thing would be great because I watch all the pay-per-views, incessively. I don't miss. I love it. That's why I want to do a Royal Rumble recap. I'm down to do who wants to do it with me. Because I thought the Big Four, I never want to not do a review of the Big Four pay-per-view, SummerSlam, all that stuff. So you know what the Big Four is. But a Monday Night Raw recap to me just is brutal at this point. And even a Wednesday for me personally, not everybody else can have a ball with it. Jason, Anthony, JD, they'll do a fantastic job. But for me personally, I can't do it. To be honest with you, I'd rather jerk myself off with a cheese grater.
Jesus.
Cheese grater. Cheese grater. Kyle, you get that? Cheese grater? Oh my god. Oh my god. Right now, Cress and Kyle are laughing so hard they can't even type.
And that's how you close the show.
That's how you close the show.
Go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
I just want to thank Cress for trying to update us on what happened in AEW tonight. I want to make like I didn't see his post. He said
thanks, Chris.
Team Taz went on a Sting, a rant on Sting. Sting came out with the bat and everyone ran away. Okay, it seems to happen every week. Taya Conti would make 50 roads, and he said 90%. He agrees with me. He doesn't have the network, so he can't see the documentaries, but it's worth having the network. Again, the best $10, even during COVID times, and as much as I've struggled, I never canceled WWE Network. I found a way to at least keep that going. $10 a month's not going to kill me. But when I was looking at cutting back and canceling things, I canceled movie networks and other subscriptions that I have for certain things. WWE Network, not even just because I'm a podcaster, but I thoroughly enjoy the WWE Network. I would hate to have to cancel that. So I always kept it, even though in these times, even if I didn't do wrestling podcasts, I love WWE Network. But anyway, plug in my stuff. Tomorrow night, Trez returns. Thank God. It seems like I miss her. I haven't been on a show with her in so long. It's been a task. So me and Trez tomorrow night, KNT Chronicles at 10 o'clock, New York City time. I hope you're working tomorrow night, Drew. You'll be able to join us at some point.
Well, I am working. It depends on where they put me on the office, but if I'm in an area in the office where I can listen, I will definitely listen.
All right, cool. Well, 10 o'clock tomorrow, KNT on, of course, just switch over to our Discord, DTKC Soup. You guys know the deal. Then from there, I'm not sure where like my next appearances or anything are. I mean, a couple people hit me up today for shows. Someone actually made me a very interesting offer today that I really have to think about. Being part of some new network that wants me to be the focal point of the network and stuff. So I got to really think about that. And I appreciate anybody new, old, established, not established, who wants to do anything with me. Thank you for always having me on, Drew. And shout out to, again, RJ and Monty, and those great guys. And everybody I've met, along the way and since the change in my schedule and what I'm doing myself. And I'm kind of become the nomadic guest appearer and then soon to be like land back on my feet in tangible new home and new shows. And by the way, when I do that, I'll still come back and do these shows. You won't even have to twist my arm. I'll do it anytime. And if I have the time, I'll do it. I have no problem. It's not like, I'm just buying my time till I go to other places. I'll keep busy. I just don't want to oversaturate myself. When people get sick of me, I want to kind of, do specific stuff. I do stuff with you. I do stuff with Jeff Lippman. I do stuff with Steve over there with Jeff. I know we argued about the name of the show, Headlocks and Hung Men. And
the Hammer. We're just gonna call it the Hammer.
Exactly, my boy Jimmy over at the Rage Network. Great guy from Australia, such a gentleman, such a good dude, man. Guy's always seeing how I'm doing. Just on a personal level, always just want to check in on me. Just like a real friend, become a real friend. Definitely a true gentleman, and I hope. Much like you, much like RJ, much like Monty, much like Jeff, much like Steve and Shaheen, and all you younger cats. I hope, like I said, the success that me and Don Tony and Mish and stuff like that have had finds you guys, and you guys get to that next level. And anything I can do to help you guys, I'm going to do it. And all it is just ask me, and I'll be there. So I mean, and again, I do it because I enjoy it, and I enjoy you guys. If it wasn't even, we weren't even talking about wrestling, we could be talking about how to fix the track on your zipper on your pants, and I'd probably find an hour for that. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's I'm a different type of guy than a lot of other podcasters. Nothing has to be in it for me. I just enjoy your guys' company, and quite honestly, it behooves me to make friends with the younger generation and get in tune with what's going on with you guys. I'm 52 years old. I want to know what's, and it's cool that despite I got a lot of years on a lot of you guys, we have a lot in common. You know what I mean? So, and I'm finding out more and more. I used to think until I got to be on some of you guys' shows, I didn't know how much really we did have in common, because I would always think if I had 10, 15, 20 years on somebody, it's a different generation. But what I found out is wrestling fans are pretty well rounded with you guys with music and stuff, and you have the same worries and relationship things and pet problems and stuff that I have. So it's good to venture out. The best thing that has happened to me, maybe it wasn't, anything expected, but the best thing that happened to me post all the bullshit that happened and me being, now being almost like a professional guest, was getting to know all you guys so much better. Mm-hmm. And I think it's probably for the betterment of me that when I go on and do other things and stuff, that I form these friendships and gotten to be build bridges with a lot of new shows, and to hopefully see the rise of you guys, and you guys go on to great successful things, bypass old codgers like me, and do even greater things. As podcasting is so fucking popular right now, you don't know who's gonna fly and who's gonna die. You know what I mean? You know. That's what I mean. You be nice. Today's guy who's got like 10 followers can be next year's new Conrad. You know what I mean? So you really don't know. So again, I loved getting to be on all these shows and guest. And again, even when I'm establishing something else, I'll always come back and do all this shit for you guys. No problem at all. And thank you for being one of the. And again, me and you got to be friends off the show too, which is great too. And I could say that about a few of you guys too.
And
I mean, I actually feel safe enough to give you my actual phone number.
Yeah. Maybe not your actual address to your house. I gotta work with that. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I'll give you the address. I won't give you the floor that I live on, but I'll give you the address.
Yeah, but on a serious note, I do appreciate our friendship. I appreciate that we've evolved from just being like, we're good podcast friends, to now we're actually legit good friends. We're almost family pretty much, and I consider you family. I call you Uncle Kev. I call you Uncle Kev. That's like a goof, but I'm also serious about it. Do the same thing with Draper. I'll call him Uncle Draper. And, I'm very appreciative of the friendships I made in podcasting. It's like I said, 5 years ago, I was listening to you and Don Tony on YouTube. I was listening to you guys on Epic Sports, and now I have you on my show pretty much like every week. And we're talking like we've known each other for 50 years. Crazy.
That's true. Does it feel like when you've seen what was that movie where the guy wound up being friends with Jake Roberts and he used to watch Jake Roberts, that he was driving around in the car with him in that movie while Jake was going and getting his drugs and banging his horse. It's almost like that, right, Drew? It's like
well, I don't know what movie that is, and I don't.
The old what was the movie, Cress, with Jake Roberts 20 years ago? What was that movie?
Oh, Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat. It's like Beyond the Mat. I'm like Coco Beware.
The Birdman, Kevin Castle.
I'm like the Birdman. No, I'm like I'm not like Jake Roberts. I've never been down and out to try. Yeah, I know you can't take up drugs and drink it in your 50s. It just doesn't happen. It would have took by now. You know what I mean? All the depression I went through in 2020, I would have succumbed to that by now. So I'm kind of proud of myself. And actually, again, podcasting is very cathartic. It's very therapeutic, and it's what it does for you. again, I always took it as almost like an outlet, almost like going out, like almost like the way people would go out and see a movie or go out to dinner. It's the same thing I take podcasting as, and I think that more people need to take it that way. I don't want to listen to Meet the Press for 2 hours. When I tune into podcasts, I love to get some laughs. And if I hear people laughing, joking, that's what I love about Wrestling Soup. And I actually got to listen to the whole show last week after not getting to hear it for a while. And I just remember, they tackle serious stuff. But then when those two guys laugh and goof on something, it's the best, and it reminds me of why I love podcasting. And I'm glad that we can do that, me and you here too, and do that too with Lipman. And Jeff is so serious sometimes. Jeff is a really smart guy, and I think he's going to do very well in podcasting. He's a very intelligent man, and I think he'll know how to navigate business wise around it. And his partner Steve on Headlocks is another. Steve is funny as hell. I mean, it just just a pleasure going on the show with those guys. And Jimmy in Australia is a very funny dude too, and his partner Chris. So all you guys, again, what I love about, and RJ and Monty, funny. I love hearing you guys laugh because you're not serious. If you guys were all super serious, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be miserable. But the fact that you can goof and even make fun of yourselves, you guys are going to do fine. You're all going to be fine. You really will. And nothing will surprise me if any of you guys a year from now excel and exceed past anything I've done. And I'd be happy for it. I certainly wouldn't be jealous or petty. I'd be right there cheering you on. I think it would be great.
Yeah, and then and we'll close it out right now. It's like we said last week, is that and I'm not saying this to kiss ass. I think you're probably the best podcaster going on right now, and I say that I'm not just kissing your ass. I'm telling you the truth. I think you're.
I know a couple of women who think that too, but then that's pretty cool.
It's just like you said, no matter how big you get, it's always good to help out those. You're going out of your way to help out guys like me and Wrestling Court and RJ and Monty.
Oh yeah, Julian. Let me not shout out to him if he hears this too. To Julian and Rob, I love those guys. Rob is a great, I think, such an underrated part. His partner Rob, Julian's on Wrestling Court. That's so good. I mean, really underrated dude who I don't even think he knows how good he is. And Julian is great too. And Julian's a sweetheart and just a good friend to me and to my brother. All you guys, like I said, I never negative things to say about, and I wouldn't anyway. I mean, there's just again, if anything, it's up to me to set the tone for, kind of keeping things cool with everybody. And all you guys are great, and I'm glad that there's, the guys that I'm talking about too, and that you guested on the Headlock show, and this guy and this guy. Everybody's kind of interconnected. You know what I mean? And it's cool like that, man. It is competitive. I won't kid you. I'm not going to deny that podcasting is not competitive. It is, but there's so many podcasts. It's good to have like a little circle, almost like a little crew, almost like a clique or a, BSK, Bone Street crew. It's kind of, I think you need that, to be honest with you, because then you have if you have problems, and I'm not talking about podcaster problems, which is, you might as well have a problem with a 5-year-old girl. But I'm just saying that's how big of a threat that is. But I'm talking about networking. Like we all talked about how Mish is good. You got to probably can't figure this out. This connection keeps fucking up. You could go to a guy like Mish and he won't be like, well, you're not on my show. Technically, I'm not going to help you. He would never do that. He would help you. And, or maybe Draper, you want to incorporate some kind of comedy routine. Maybe my brother could help you. Or you go to me, he's like, Kev, I get this thing. I just want to bounce this off you. What do you think? It's cool that you feel like you can do that. And even with the younger guys, RJ and stuff, you guys don't have to feel like you're vying for the same crowd. Because, again, if you provide the laughs, the charm, the material, the knowledge, and the interest, people are going to listen to you. Nobody else can not make somebody listen to you. I'll be damned if anybody ever told me, hey, Jason Solomaster, he stole my car. I'll be like, hey, he still puts on a hell of a show. I'm still going to listen to it. So I don't care if he stole your car. It's not my car. But I'm joking. Of course, Jason would never steal a car. But I'm just saying that, if someone's trying to deter you from, it's all about the way you are perceived on the air and how you connect to people. And I can't stress that enough. And again, I see it in a lot of you young guys. I think there's more to come out of you guys. I've talked to you about this, and you don't mind me saying this on the air. Again, it's growing pains. It's total growing pains. And as you get a bigger audience and stuff, and again, today's 15 people Next year's 1,500 people, or the following year's 3,000 people, and that's the way we built up too. So again, just keep doing it. If you're really good at it, the money will come someday. But if you're doing it for fun, that's the best thing, because then again, you'll put everything into it, not rely on it from a fiscal aspect, but more of a therapeutic aspect where it helps you as much as it helps the people listening to you, and you'll be fine. And that's the best way I could close out.
Yeah, and I'll close out by saying I am in it for fun. I'm in it to have fun.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah, I know you are.
I'm in it to talk to my friends like you, like RJ and Monty and
even Kyle, right? Even Kyle.
Even Kyle. And
Nice. There you go.
I didn't think I would like Kyle. I always thought he was.
Kyle's the best, man. Kyle's the best. Kyle's a big guy. Kyle gets you in a choke slam, you're in big trouble.
Kyle happens to be a very nice young man. I was wrong about I was wrong about all the things I said about him on Twitter and on my blog. Anyways,
that's terrible. By the way, Cress said he won a belt from Jason's show. Cress, you won that belt? I didn't even know that. You won the championship belt? Do you have a picture of it? I'm not like, oh, you came close. Oh, okay.
But anyways, man, appreciate you coming on. Hopefully you can come by next week. If you can, that'd be awesome.
I think I might be able to. Yeah, I think I should be able to. I'll let you know by the end of this weekend.
Sure thing. Also, just to be quick, you mentioned you want to do something for the Rumble. I pitched it to Monty, and I don't think I told RJ yet that we should probably do something for the Rumble.
Maybe the four of us can do something. That'll be fucking great, man. Get the grizzled old veteran with the three young guys. That would be great. We got the 50 something, 30 something, and the 20 somethings. There you go.
Hey, let's make it happen. But anyways,
if you make it happen, let those guys know. I'll be glad to come on, especially you young guys. That'll be great.
I'll let you. I'm trying to get that day off first, but if I do, I'll let you guys know like ASAP.
Yeah, maybe we can. If you want to do it from their show perspective, or do it from your thing, or they want to host it and we'll go on. Whatever you want to do, let me know if you can work it out.
Absolutely, I'm always open. But anyways, dude, take care. Have a good night. I'll write you after this. All right.
Sure. Thanks, man. Good night, everybody. Kyle, Cress, Maurice, everybody who hung in there. Who else is with us? Who's the other dude that was there? Super Sasha. Who's that? Was he gone?
Yeah, he left. No.
Okay, well, but thanks, guys, and I'll check you guys out tomorrow night for KNT. Peace.
All right, I appreciate everybody for coming by. Cressman, thank you. I mean, yeah, I appreciate you for showing up in general. Maurice, you're always here. You're always a trooper. Kyle, I'm glad you came by. I hope you didn't take what I said seriously. Kyle's a good dude. I always heard good things about Kyle. And then she was here earlier. So I appreciate everybody for coming on, including Kevin. Don't forget to listen to Dark Chronicles tomorrow with him and Trez. The return of Trez. The return of the Trez. So a good friend of the show. Make sure you support the Patreon. Let's see, Wrestling Soup, they're tomorrow as well. They're going to be before Dark Chronicles. And head over to their Patreon. Breaking the Apocalypse with John Draper, B-Show, Brian, and Shaheen. Also, speaking of Shaheen, head over to Nuclear Graphics if you need some artwork done. He's the best at what he does. Yuck Nasty, if you need a theme song done for your podcast, or you just need music in general, get a hold of him. He's really good. Brother Monty, of course. Shout out to him. Love him. Same thing with RJ. Love him. Shout out to him. Listen to their shows. Texas Podcast Massacre. Let's see. False Count Radio. Ginger Carlick. Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. JD. Not JD from New York. JD from Russell Bread Podcast. Ruben Prime. And who else? Who else am I missing? Just anyone else with a podcast. Support anyone with a podcast. Man, Craig is 2 for 2 in the last 2 shows. So I probably won't edit this show as soon as I get off. The show will be posted on Friday, so look out for that. But anyways, take care, guys. I'm glad you came. Hopefully you guys come back next week. Looks like Kev is available for next week again. But later, Maurice. Later, Crest. Later, everybody else. Peace.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.